1987. That was the year. Robocop had a budget of $13.7 million, and it made $53.4 million back at the box office, directed by our very favourite Dutch director, Paul Verhoeven, of Total Recall fame and also Starship Troopers. On the channel tonight are Melvin Deepley's Randy Poltergeist. Hello.
How are we doing, people?
All right. Also with us tonight is the Brillo help desk. What's that all about?
What's Brillo? It's metal fuzz.
Okay, I wasn't aware Robocop had pubes, but never mind. And speaking of sexy robots, he's our very favourite sailing unit, Z3PO. Hello there.
Go ahead, do it. Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Oh dear, you and your sticky RS-232 port.
It's better than my 9-pin D.
Well, they are bragging or complaining, dear.
Boasting. Got one of each. Do you
Nice.
like serial or parallel, love?
Oh dear. You couldn't make this up, could you? Hello to the oldest gamer in the chat, also Sword in the Storm. What did he say here? This is interesting. What's he saying? I always have an issue with the lab scenes. What are they doing to his face, and does that woman kiss him on his eyes? Yeah, interesting that. We'll talk about that during the slides. If you've got something to say, it's better to burn out than to fade away. Do let us know in the chat. And yes, a lot of people are saying, finally, Robocop. Yeah, we were scheduled to do this a fortnight ago, but I ended up having a nice, relaxing stay at a hospital not of my choice, which was all fun. You could join in on the chat tonight. I did change that earlier. I'm going to change that. It should read, "Can you fly, Bobby? Can you fly, Bobby?" One of the many great one-liners in this. And this was Ed Neumeyer's first trip out in script writing town. And I think he did a very good job. Between the script and the actual direction of the film itself, there's very, very little bloat. It gets to the point. It does what it says on the tin. What are your favourite memories of this Brillo help desk?
The movie itself is it's just a fantastic movie. I mean, I'd say ahead of its time ultimately, because the whole idea is sort of like the cyber augmentation, but then you have sort of like the corporate interference so that people in the company can't be harmed, so therefore they can get away with actually being criminals and stuff. It's quite what's the term? Quite a social movie. That and he shoots the guy's knob off.
Well, there is that. Z, apart from knob shooting, what are your fond memories of this film?
Oh, I watched this one in the cinema. Great film. First movie I watched when I moved to West Sussex. So had an afternoon to kill, went and go and watched Robocop. Absolutely brilliant. And obviously the Judge Dredd references are clearly in there. And being a massive 2000 AD fan at the time, I thought it was amazing. It was everything I ever wanted in a sci-fi movie.
For you, would this film sort of come across a bit of a mashup of Judge Dredd and Robusters?
Yeah, pretty much.
Robusters, that's going back in it.
Yeah, that's first started out in Star-Lord in 1978.
Yeah, I used to love Robusters.
Me too, one of my favourites.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah. Although, my favourite was Rogue Trooper, to be fair.
Mine too. I've got a full set of biochips die-cast, which I stick
Really?
with,
And there's always a rumour that it's in production.
Yeah, apparently a TV series, but we'll wait and see. Or
Yeah, I'll believe that when my shit turns purple and smells like rainbow sherbet.
Let me see a trailer first.
Yeah, an actual proof. That'd be nice. Melv, what was your first memory of Robocop?
First memory of it? Seeing it. I didn't remember it before I seen it, so...
Well, obviously not.
Kind of how it works. My best memory of it is just how much it reminded me of Judge Dredd.
Yeah, that's funny that. A lot of people making that association with it.
Yeah, I was very into my Judge Dredd comics at the time and was dying for a Judge Dredd film, and this was it, as much as we could get anyway.
Yeah, well, we finally got a Judge Dredd, and well, I say finally. When Carl Urban did it, I think that really was the pinnacle of Judge Dredd, and it's a shame they didn't expand on that. What do you reckon, Z?
I think they got the character right, but they got Mega City 1 wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Own Dredd got Mega City 1 right, but they got Dredd wrong.
Yep.
Do you know what I love about that? The early part of that film, where he says, "Okay, hot shot," and then his lawgiver goes, "Hot shot."
Hot shot.
I love that bit.
That's brilliant.
Also with us tonight, late starter, but that's my fault, and I do apologise, Wayfarer. Wayfarer Project, looking all shiny and chromy. Hello.
Well, thank you very much. No, it's a pleasure to be with you. I'm glad you went ahead with it.
Yeah, it was all a bit. It was a bit up in the air. There was some technical issues between my ears, but we got there in the end.
Well, don't worry. I mean, one of the things about this film that I like very much is the score by Basil Polidorus. And although I do prefer the Conan score, I don't know, there's something about that.
Yeah, you did mention that, didn't you?
Just a little
when we were
notch.
chatting. Yeah,
it's a little notch above, but the score was still very good, and his use of motif and having a theme. And I saw a documentary that explained it pretty well, how the theme in the score kind of represents his first of all, his fall into being mechanical, and then his humanity coming back, and like in the house scene and everything, it just gradually the humanity starts waking up again.
it just proves that you can't delete human memory. The human mind is stronger than the electronic, and it always comes back. There's that will and determination. Sword in the Storm in the chat says, first thing I knew about this movie is when I saw the poster in the video store. Hey, that's always good. Speaking of 2000 AD, lads, where are we? Rojaws and Hammerstein were awesome, says Swappers.
Meatquake.
Yeah. Oldest Gamer says he saw this movie in college. Were you in a frat? If I was in a frat, I'd definitely be in Delta House, and I'd be on double secret probation, as always. Alan G Super Squad 7 says, my first memory of Robocop was seeing that iconic movie poster and thinking it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen at the time. My first sort of memory of this is buying the Amiga game. I wasn't old enough to go and see this at the cinema. Sadly, I was, a few years off being 18. But I could still buy the video game. It's by Ocean. Played it on the Amiga, which was a fantastic game, and I still play it on occasion, but only through emulation. I do quite like, for a guilty pleasure, there's Robocop versus Terminator for the Mega Drive. That is a cracking game. You what, Mal?
Wow.
I never played that one, but Ocean did make a lot of good games back then. I had the Robocop game, but I think it was 8-bit, and also they made the Batman 89 game as well, didn't they?
They did indeed. Oldest Gamer says he wasn't in a frat. Oh, man. Oh, well, we'll have to put you in with the Tri-Lambs for that one.
Well, if you ever see Open All Hours, remember, with Ronnie Barker?
Yeah.
According to Arkwright, a frat was a nasty cross between a ferret and a rat.
You've got to love that. You can't argue with Ronnie Barker. Right, if we're all ready, we will start with some slides, shall we? Oh, Bixby Snyder. Oh, did you see that in the background? We'll talk about Bixby Snyder a little bit later on. It's the biggest show in Detroit. It's not my problem, but I'll leave it with him. That is I love that as an opening scene. When that sort of fades in from the background and blows up in your face, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, because we went from the mid-'80s with that airbrushed artwork, with the fade, with the orange at the top and the blue at the bottom, and then we moved over to brush steel, and then all our furniture went black and pipe-like. It's great.
Yeah. Sword in the Storm. Wash your mouth out, you dirty, dirty boy. He says a frat is a dyslexic release of anal wind.
I like that. I'm going to
That's
steal
not
that.
bad. That's not bad. It's not good. Like Mrs. Brown says, it can lead to other things. If you have to force it, it's probably... Anyway, we'll start with Media Break. Casey Wong and Jess Perkins. And if you look, the lady on the right is Lisa Gibbons.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember her?
I remember the name, but I'm trying to remember what 80s show she was on.
She was married to
Mike
Chris
Tyson?
Clinton from Coronation Street, right?
Oh,
Well,
all right,
it's
my
funny
bad.
you mentioned that, Mel. He lives local to me.
Mike Tyson.
No, Lisa Gibbons' ex-husband lives very, very close to.
Oh, that
where
was
I live.
Robin Givens.
Oh, my bad.
Well, she was married to an English former soap actor at one time. But we'll move on, cause Coronation Street shit. Media Break goes into an advert for heart transplants where you can have an artificial heart. And, you can have the latest line of Jensen and sports models from Yamaha. So in this particular universe, replacement hearts are just, it's a common thing. You get to a certain age and you can just have a brand new heart. Well, it's interesting. Although that does not look like a heart. It looks like some kind of, I don't know, bizarre sex toy. It's like
you do at the weekend.
It's like a double fleshlight.
It looks like a bag of cheap donuts.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. So anyway, we go back to Media Break after that little advert, and Casey Wong's telling us about Detroit police and how they're going to get bought out fully by OCP. And then we're introduced to Dick Jones, OCP senior president. We'll have a bag of laughs with him during the course of the film. He's also got very long arms later.
Yeah, it does.
Yes,
Apparently, they've judged this scientifically. It's all in proper perspective. It's just the fact that the way you look at it, because he's falling, it makes his arms look longer than they should be. But I call bullshit on that.
Because it's actually small. So the arms actually do look longer because of the perspective, because it's not full size. So the camera's actually only a few inches away from it.
Yeah.
Rather than 50 feet from it. So
yeah,
the fact that the arms are probably a couple of inches long, right? Then if you think about it, that the camera's only like, say, a foot away from it, then it would make them look longer.
The more you know. Have you thought about going on Mythbusters?
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. That just kind of makes sense to me.
It's fine. Fair enough. We're introduced early on, to Clarence J. Boddicker, played by Kurtwood Smith, who's been in some fantastic roles, like the Federation President in Star Trek VI.
Oh, yeah.
It was great in that. And then he came back as Anorax in Voyager. But what a name, Anorax. He stands on train platforms in a dirty mag. He's Anorax.
In Star Trek, it looks like Kenny Rogers, if Kenny Rogers was the Disco King.
Oh, don't say Kenny Rogers. Wayfarer's on with us. Are you all right, Wayfarer?
I might be able to channel him a little bit later.
I know you get a bit moist when Kenny Rogers is mentioned.
He is a
Try and
gambler,
contain
after
yourself,
all.
sir. You might go rusty in the wrong areas.
No, I don't know if you're aware, Trev, but the fourth draft of this script from June 1986 originally had Officer Fredrickson, who they're reporting is being murdered by Clarence, actually had that scene in the script itself. So we would have opened up with something quite gory indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're rooting for you, Frank. Hey, speaking of Frank, where's Franco tonight? He's not in the chat. If anybody knows Franco, can they just text him and just check, see if he's okay? So that's the end of Media Break. We're introduced to Officer Murphy, Alex Murphy. He's been transferred from Metro South to, is it Metro West? Can't remember. So anyway, he's transferred, but he's what they call a soft target. The police force has been secretly restructured by OCP to put people who perhaps aren't quite able to deal and cope with tougher situations. So they take a soft cop from a good area and put him in a rough area in the hopes that he's going to get murdered so he can donate his body to OCP. Now, that's foreshadowing.
You know me.
Pardon?
You're down with OCP. Yeah, you know me. You're down with OCP.
Okay. Anyway, we wait for a living down here, Murphy. This is Sergeant Reed, tough old cop. And he's got some old lady there trying to skank coffee. Warren Reed, who was in all 3 movie versions of this. So Murphy wakes his way down to the locker room. Doesn't really make any friends because he's only been there like 5 minutes. And that guy in the back there with his nice, sexy dad bod says, fuck 'em, we should strike. And then Sergeant Reed comes in with Cecil. I like how you Americans say Cecil. Cecil. Sounds like sea salt. So anyway, oh dear, we're not rooting for Frank anymore because he's brown bread. Oh well. So anyway, they're all looking a bit down and forlorn, and there's Mr. Tits. He looks like a porno version of Mario, doesn't he? Hey, it's me, hard on you.
This is what you get when you order your Ron Jeremy off Temu.
Let me go back. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I wonder if he can do a countdown from 5.
The guy on the right looks a bit like Kevin Bacon, doesn't he?
A little bit, yeah. But look at Cecil. Do I call him Cecil? English lads and Scottish gentlemen. Cecil or Cecil? What are we going with?
Oh, Cecil.
It's got to be Cecil. Oh, you had to be fucking awkward to say. Typical you. So anyway, donations can be given to Cecil as always. And there's Murphy getting ready in the background. Sergeant Reed says, we don't strike. We're not plumbers. And old Mario there, Timu Ron Jeremy, and Timu Wish Kevin Bacon. That's who it is.
Actually, the one on the left.
Oh my God.
Peyton Fillion.
Is it the guy from Men in Black?
No,
like
it's
him.
not. No, I know who you're thinking of. That's Vincent D'Onofrio, who was Private
Oh,
Pyle in
God.
Full Metal Jacket. Look at the guy in the background. Look who that is.
Is that
That's
Sting?
eBay Anthony Starr.
That's the one.
Homelander, but not quite.
Looks more like Freddy Star.
Yeah, and a hamster up his... anyway, moving swiftly on. We're introduced to Anne Lewis. When you're done fucking around with this suspect, come and meet your new partner, Lewis. So she beats the shit out of her suspect. And then she meets Murphy for the first time. Glad to know you, Murphy. Just look at him, though. He just looks he looks too clean, doesn't he, to be in that precinct?
Not for long.
Well,
Yeah.
shh. There might be some random weirdo who's not seen it.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Look at Reed's face. He's like, fuck this shit. I'm just here for the money. Anyway, there's a bit of an argument about who's going to drive, and Murphy says, oh, I always drive when I'm breaking in a new partner. I'm not quite sure how to take that. I mean, that could be viewed as sexual harassment these days. You know what people are like?
Yeah.
But he's got a bit of a cheeky grin on his face. And it reminds me, have you ever seen that picture what's been floating around social media about Carrie Fisher, how she looks at Peter Weller at a party? Have you seen that?
I have seen that.
Have you seen the fucking look she's given him? She shagged him that night.
Wow.
Lucky bastard. He coat nail and everything.
I wonder if she broke him.
You never know. Jeebus. I wonder if he's got a rusty rod now.
May explain why he was so skinny and desiccated looking back then.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
And this becomes a bit of a telltale sign as to who Robocop is later. Because when he sets off, he does the same thing when he's Murphy and when he's Robocop, doesn't he? He skids off and then sparks up the ramp. There we go. So that'll become very apparent a little bit later on. But it's a cracking film. I mean, even this far in, it's good. Nothing's really happened as of yet, but it's not bad. I meant to get rid of that one. Hang on a minute. What the chuff? I think we've got nothing but technical difficulties.
Oh, man.
No. What the bloody hell's going on?
I probably brought the luck.
Oh, no, it's me. I'm a twat.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Don't do a fucking Irish accent. I'm still trying to get over Tater from Friday night. crikey, I don't know what he'd been on, but I could really do with some of it.
That's just him normally. You've never actually been on another stream with him, have you?
God.
Did you take that one down?
I did.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was... Everybody, I guess, has to have that one stream, and that was that one stream. I had to kill it. I mean, it is safe, just not on YouTube. Oh my God, is that Billy Idol in the background?
Really?
Yeah, it looks like him, doesn't it? Can you see him in the car park? Underneath Murphy's gun.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah.
or Kiefer Sutherland from The Lost Boys, but it's daytime.
No, he's a vampire. I don't think he'd be out and about.
Was this before The Lost Boys, though? I don't know. Maybe
This
it's
is after Lost Boys.
Pre-vampire.
Yeah. So they're having a bit of a quick coffee break, and Murphy's doing this twiddly-fingly thing with his gun, like an old Western chap, and he's emulating TJ Laser, which is in part not based on TJ Hooker. But when he takes out a bad guy, he does this old Wild West gun flicky trick to get it back in his holster, and that'll become something of note a little bit later on. There's a lot of foreshadowing in the early parts of this film.
Yeah.
Good evening to Badfoot. Also, Tom's joined us. Tom said he was 13 when he saw this. It blew his mind. It's good, though. It really is good. Alan G. Super 7 says, Super Squad 7 says, I'd argue that this is the best film ever made. Oh, I stand corrected, Z. Sword in the Storm says Lost Boys came out in 87. So, same year. Yeah. Good evening, everybody, says Badfoot. Hello, Badfoot. How are you? Nice to have you with us this evening.
Hope your feet get better, man.
Why does he actually live up to his name?
I don't know, but I mean,
Oh,
it's a strange name otherwise.
well, yeah, stranger things have happened. So anyway, Murphy's having this thing, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I did this thing. TJ Laser, my kid loves it, and he gets a kick out of it, and so do I." And then he gets a call on the radio. Yeah, I love this. We're introduced to Clarence and his gang, and they've just done a bank job. Is that a Ben Franklin? What's all toasty there? Is it Ben Franklin? What's 100?
You mean the receding hairline?
No, the
the
dollar,
money.
the bill, the
Based on
money.
notes.
Oh,
We're British. We have no concept of who's on what note in America.
I don't really see the higher number dollars anymore.
Oh, it's George Washington on the dollar, I think.
Yeah,
And
the Benjamins, those are 100, right?
yeah, Benjamin
Yeah.
Franklin's are hundreds. Who's
See
on
the
the
one-
20?
See the one where you can't make out what the number is? That's a Joe Biden.
Ooh, no, we don't do that. We don't do politics on this channel, thank you.
Only Fridays.
No,
No.
I meant the TV celebrity. That's what I meant. Not
Okay.
the politician.
Doesn't this
I
take
believe
place
you.
after the introduction of Ed 209? Did I sleep through that part?
No, well, that's still to come, I think.
Oh.
Or have I massively bollocksed up? Because I tell you something.
You've been
Let me
seeing the
just-
Consumer Products Boardroom introduction of Ed 209.
I think you're right. I think I've titted up. Oh, well.
Maybe that was the blank white slide.
Yeah.
So, Z, talk us through the boardroom where they introduced Ed 209.
Well, they introduce Ed 209 to a boardroom full of people. Unfortunately, it's got live ammo and can't hear it when Mr. Kinney draws a gun on it in a demonstration. It probably shoots him to death in probably the most horrific manner captured on screen. And I loved every second of it.
If I remember rightly, they had to
There are
tone-
two versions.
They toned it down because they didn't want to get a mature rating.
Yes, the director's cut has it restored.
Yes.
It's not that much gorier in terms of blood and whatnot.
No,
I can't
but, I mean, it's
understand why
just that-
sensors were so sensitive back in the day.
Just that little cut it required.
Hmm.
I think that
Really?
was probably my favourite part of the film.
Well, when Mr. Kinney gets shot up.
Yeah, with Ed 209. And it's like, you could see it coming. You know, you could see it coming and then it happened. It's
Yeah. Anyway, that bloke on the right with the hat on, that's Bobby. But Clarence is very happy with Bobby. You burnt the fucking money! Kurtwood Smith is just he's sublime as a bad guy.
He absolutely is.
He looks like an accountant, but he's not. He's just a badass.
I found it not strange, but notable that it has a kind of resemblance to Michael Ironside.
Yeah, like a librarian version, but it'd still fuck you over.
Yeah, but Verhoeven had Ironside in 2 other films, didn't he? I think
Yeah.
he liked that look for his bad guy.
And this is actor Ray Wise, who was Bob in Twin Peaks.
A big fan of Ray Wise. I never watched Twin Peaks, and I always just knew him as a bit actor because he just kind of his face showed up in a lot of different places. And then I really got to see him properly in the TV series. What was it called? Reaper. It's a comedy series, and where he played the devil.
That's right. Because he was that lad's dad, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was amazing in that. It was fantastic. Really showed how well he could act, whereas before I only ever knew him as a bit part actor.
He had a good part in Voyager as well. He played a character called Arturus, who was a part of a species that had eluded the Borg for like 1,000 years. And because of Voyager interfering in the interspatial war between the Borg and species 8472, it created a power vacuum and his species was taken over. So he had this revenge plot to get the crew of the Voyager assimilated. Well, that's a different story. So anyway, cops rapidly approach, and it's Lewis and Murphy. And this is Emil Antonowski. He is a cracker of a character in this film. And if you ever saw Robocop, the TV series, he made a few appearances in that as a bad guy too. A different one. He got like a funny face.
That he looks like Jeremy, doesn't he, from Geeks and Gamers?
Oh no, Jeremy. No,
is this the
he don't
second
look like
mention of Jeremy?
But look at Clarence there. He looks like a biology teacher that you'd be shit scared of.
Or gym teacher.
Oh, I don't know. So anyway, cops rapidly come up on Emil's van, and that looks a cracking getaway vehicle, doesn't it? And they start shooting, kick the doors open, and there's nothing there. And just a bit of a factoid, the guy with the beret, that's Joey Cox in Robocop, he was in The Greatest American Hero. I can't remember the character's name, but he was one of the Mr. Hinckley's pupils, if you remember that.
Oh.
Is it related to Ronnie Cox?
He isn't. So anyway, Emil says, "They're over here. I reckon you need to go to Specsavers." So they start having a bit of a shootout. And, oh, look, there's Bobby trying to be all brave and hard. And he gets shot in the knees. I've noticed something with Verhoeven films. The blood and, like, gunshots are all the same. Because that Mr. Kinney scene, this scene, and any others where somebody's got some blood packs, they call them squibs in the trade, don't they?
Mm.
But very similar to Total Recall. So anyway, Bobby gets shot in the legs, and they shut the back doors up, and Clarence is getting a bit pissed off. So they try and have another shooty-outy, and it's not working out. Murphy's... I've titted up again. I had the bit where he says, "Can you fly, Bobby?" And that's gone fucking walkabout as well. Oh. I should have checked through these. I mean, I did these slides ages ago.
Somebody's been stealing your slides.
Yeah. Oh, it's on me. So there's Bobby, and obviously he can't fucking fly because he ain't got wings, and he lands on the windscreen. And if you ever notice in the film, on the right-hand side of that car, where the mirror is, I mean, you can't see it in that shot, but when he's getting flung round, he's actually holding onto a bar. There's a bar welded there.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, I mean, I can't remember his name, but he's actually a stuntman, that actor. So they didn't need a double for him. So when he's getting thrown out the van and lands on the car, he's doing his own stunts literally. So Clarence and co sort of get away and they go to this old steel mill or whatever it is. And this becomes very important. This is, yet again, more foreshadowing. The place where Murphy dies and he comes back and exacts his revenge in the place where he dies. So there's Emil's van. And they're nowhere to be seen. There's all like burnt money and shit knocking about. Lewis takes upstairs, Murphy takes downstairs. And as she's sort of like lurking around, somebody's having a slash. And it's that guy, it's that Joey P. Cox. He's got a great laugh. He's very Ruby Rod-esque, isn't he, in this?
Ruby Rod.
Even before Ruby Rod.
Carbon.
So anyway, Lewis does a bit of a pop with a chewing gum. And he manages to stop his stream perfectly and not piss any further, which is bizarre.
It's good muscle control.
You know more.
He's earned the name P. Cox.
Yeah. So anyway, he says to Lewis, he says, mind if I zip this up? Inferring that he's got a cock like a pit pony. So she looks down at his todge. And then he like lamps her one and she goes flying off the edge. And then he does the amazing laugh. It's such a good chuckle. I love it. Lots of people in the chat saying, can you fly, Bobby? Sword in the Storm says, spoiler, he can't fly. Yeah. Sword in the Storm comes out with another cracker as well. Murphy dies because Lewis couldn't keep her eyes off the cock. It's true.
Oh, yeah.
It is true. So anyway, Murphy doesn't know what's happened to Lewis, but he sees Emil and some other guy. We never particularly find out who he is, but he's like a disposable. He's a red shirt for all intents and purposes. So they're watching It's Not My Problem. And as Totty goes, the two on the left aren't really Totty. Melv, your professional Totty opinion, please, sir?
Oh, let me see here then. Let me see. Can you make it full screen?
I can do. Are you ready, sir?
Okay, if we're going left to right, second from the left is definitely out. And yeah, I think you're right. Two on the left can go. We'll keep the other two.
So you wouldn't even keep the two on the left for sympathy shags at all?
Well, spare in case something goes wrong, like you puncture one of the other ones.
You never know.
You would have did.
Holy shit!
my
What was
goodness.
that?
Somebody got punctured.
Yeah. So anyway, they're watching It's Not My Problem, and it's not even fucking funny, but they're all pissing themselves laughing. Obviously, they live in a universe where just boring shit's funny. Ash928 says, I'd buy that for £1. I wouldn't, because £1 is more than $1, or is it? I don't know, I can't remember.
I think $1 was
No.
70 odd pence at the moment.
Yeah. So Murphy says, don't do it. And he does go for it. Mr. Cardigan, he gets shot by Murphy. And what does he say? Something like, think it over. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. And that becomes an important part of the plot a little bit later on. So anyway, he's just about to make an arrest. Oh dear. You hear the old classic pump action getting loaded. And here's Leon Nash. He's basically Clarence's first lieutenant. We'll take it from here, Emil. And Murphy gets his gun knocked out of his hands. There's Steve Min, which is, I think, a great name. And then here comes Clarence. Just look at him. He just... I've seen more meat in a pot knacker, but he just looks a mean bastard, doesn't he?
Indeed.
Yeah. He's got a look. He's got a look.
He's got a bit of a swagger. So anyway, Murphy thinks, I'm in shit here, and he pretty much is. Are you some kind of hot cop, hot shot? Yeah, you must be some kind of super cop coming in here. Where's his partner? And Joey comes in and says, I found his friend. I took her out. She was so weird. Giving it all that. But look at that. A look on Emil's face. He's such a smug little prig. He's Clarence's bitch. So anyway, Clarence comes round behind him and knocks him basically onto his knees. Oh my God, look at Emil's shoes. They're so shit.
They are.
Oh God, we're a knob.
It's futuristic fashion. You can't dictate what that's going to be, you see.
Oh, I wish it were prehistoric fashion and nobody saw it. So anyway, Murphy's getting taunted. Clarence is playing with him, basically. And he says here something to the words of the effect of, I bet you don't like me, do you? Buddy, I think you're slime. See, I've got this problem. Cops don't like me, and I don't like them. And I love this bit here. And there's Joey having a good laugh about it. And then we got this fucking look at him there. He's just like, he don't know what to make of it, does he?
Do you think that's a callback to the $6 Million Man?
Who, me doing that or him doing that?
Clarence doing that.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because obviously they're both cyborgs. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. There might be some truth in that. That's a good call, Z. I like that. So he's like giving it, oh, bang, well, give the man a hand. The one-liners in this, the gold, the priceless.
I shook out of my seat when that happened.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you see the version where they actually showed the hand flying off?
Yes. It's mental.
It'll make you sit up and take notice.
Yeah.
I mean, before this, a lot of the police procedurals were on the lines of, if you were held in that position, you'd either get rescued or you'd find a way to knock the gun so it missed. I think this was one of the first times I can actually remember the bad guy actually succeeding first time.
But look at these guys. They're all tapped. Look at them. They're all laughing at the prospect of just killing somebody for fun.
Yeah.
Is that how bad it is in the future? They've only got that TV show to laugh at and media break to watch. So killing people is just, it's like Christmas come early, isn't it?
It passes the time when you're bored, I guess.
So they start firing away at Murphy. Look at them. They're all grinning and just fucking loving it. Emil, you sick little bastard. So Murphy's giving it all that and is getting shot to chuff. Does it hurt? Does it hurt, sweet prince? Yeah, another one of Joey's lines is a cracker. Okay, enough of the crap. And then Clarence takes him out. And that is a good prosthetic. That's a good bit of visual effects there, practical effects. And I think that is the same sort of like, and I've said it before, the same sort of body that they used for Total Recall. You know, where Arnie's pulling that thing out of his nose? Because it all looks very, the teeth and all looks very similar. So, oh, look at that. I caught that one spot on there, didn't I?
Ooh.
Who did the effects on this? Was it Rob Bottin?
Rob Bottin, yeah.
Yeah,
Phil
he done
Tippett did the stop go.
He done it for Total Recall as well, didn't he? I think he did.
Verhoeven likes the people that he can rely on and uses them again to work with, which is a sign there must be good people to work with in the industry.
Yeah,
So there's Murphy, poor old boy. He's out for the count. Bless him. And then Lewis is like, oh no, he got shot up. But look at that. That's I hate to say bloody mess, but I'm actually in context.
I'm actually shocked he's still alive.
Yeah.
That's a scratch. He'll be fine.
How?
It'll grow back.
How is that even remotely possible? So he's airlifted to a local hospital. We'll have a bit of a catch up after this batch of slides. And he's taken to the hospital. And then he starts, he's like, you know how they say when you're about to die, you relive your life. And this is basically a bit of a montage, isn't it, of him dying and he's seeing aspects of his life flash before his eyes. So he sees this TJ laser thing. Can you do that, Dad? And then his missus, she looks quite tasty, Melv.
Yeah, she's all right. She's better than Nancy Allen.
Yeah.
Nancy Allen gives me Jimmy Cranky vibes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my
She doesn't
goodness.
do it for me. She doesn't do it for me at all.
Oh, I like brunettes anyway. So he's got memories of him getting shot up, and he's reliving that. There's this doctor desperately trying to save him, and then he's like at that cusp of dying, isn't he? Basically, and the last thing he saw, and that's missing too. Jesus, is Clarence shooting him in the head, and then sometime later, it's like a monitor being turned on. How long do you think? Had he keep his head in a jar like in Futurama or something? Because it doesn't really go into too much depth about how they kept his brain alive.
No, but did you all know that the doctors that attempted to revive him were a real-life ER trauma team from Dallas Hospital?
I did not.
Wow.
They did seem quite convincing.
So not actors, actual trauma team.
I thought it was realistic.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
I'll give him 10 out of 10, Verhoeven, for, being really accurate at what he's doing. And that's more credit to Verhoeven as a filmmaker.
Now,
But he didn't elaborate on how they kept him alive. Obviously, we get to see a bit more depth of how body parts are kept functioning in Robocop 2. But that's beyond the scope of this particular program.
I think this takes place over a period of about 3 months because they were literally waiting for a body to turn up so they could start. And there were no signs of Christmas.
True.
So it's not something that happened in the immediate aftermath of his shooting.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Christmas party going on during?
It's a New Year's party, isn't it?
New Year's, sorry.
Yeah. I might have actually included the fucking slides for that. You never know.
Oh, yeah.
We're not doing so well lately.
I just realised something. He was wearing his bulletproof vest when he got shot. It says a lot about OCP hardware, that doesn't it?
I don't know. They managed to unload all the rounds into him, and he was still alive. And it took the headshot to take him out.
But it was the blood that's everywhere, so the bullets must have gone through the top.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that was from... I mean, that's another thing. He would have suffered brain death long before they got to the hospital. The amount of blood loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he'd had one major artery. I mean, his wrist had been blown off for a start.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is Dr. Not Bad Looking. Melv Shagometer. What do you score her on the Melv Shagometer?
Oh, she's a good 8, right?
Nice.
She's a healthy 8.
So she's a likely candidate for some Melv juice then.
You can
back
tell
in
she's
the day.
intelligent. You can tell she's intelligent because she's got very big glasses.
Yeah, she's wearing beer goggles, so Melvin has a chance.
Them glasses are so big she can read 2 books at once.
It's like her at Coronation Street. What's her name? I can't remember her name. Ken's wife.
Deirdre Barlow.
Yeah, that's it. Deirdre. She got Deirdre glasses on. Bless her.
Do you watch Coronation Street?
No. That's why I had to ask what her fucking name was, because I ain't got a clue. So they say, bring in the LED, and then this guy's drilling it down, which makes you think, what? How? How did they put all this in? Where did they put all this in? Is it in the visor? Because he's still got eyes. I know that's sort of like is that just a latex face he's got on?
No, I reckon that's his proper face. This is probably a head-up display interface that's part of the helmet.
I'm just thinking that it would make more sense for this to be in the helmet, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Boy, has he got a helmet. So anyway.
Nothing to say they're not screwing it directly onto his skull.
Yeah. But then again, hang on a minute. I've just noticed a flaw in my logic there. Because later in the film, when he takes his helmet off, he has to have his targeting system reset. And he hasn't got his helmet on then.
Ooh. So it must be, his eyes must be fake.
Yeah, it must, because isn't that just sort of like a veneer to give him a human personality, like a persona kind of thing?
It might be sort of neurolytic implants, if that makes sense. Something behind the eye, because
Yeah, but you don't use a fucking Black & Decker drill to put it in with.
It could be
in
like
the 80s, maybe.
Like the one he pulls out of his ear canal, that great big bolt.
Yeah, them bolts are rather a bit too long.
Like that chip Elon Musk is inventing. what's it called? Neuralink.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, it gets booted up again, and he's got all this computer malarkey booting up. There's Mel's 8 on the shagometer. What's his name with the glasses on? Oh, you meant the one. Sorry, Mel. What do you rate to the other science type lady? Does she register on the Mel shagometer?
I'll stick with my first choice. You can have that one.
Nah, I'll have a wank in the corner. So anyway, they agreed on total body prosthesis, so they were all cock-a-hoop that they managed to save his arm. But they get rid of it to put this thing in. 400 foot-pounds of pressure. He can crush every bone in his hand. So they have a bit of a laugh at Bob Morton's expense there, because he's the head of security concepts. This is his project. This is his baby. The one that he went out of his way to screw Dick Jones over with. And we've kind of lost a bit of nuance, haven't we, with me not checking the slides were 100%. But Bob Morton says, "You're going to be one bad motherfucker," which I think is quite good. Miguel Ferrer's quite good in this role, and I enjoyed him in this role. And even though he'd been in quite a few bits and bobs as a bit actor, this was like one of his first sort of like major roles, wasn't it? Prior to this, he was the navigator of the Excelsior in Star Trek 3.
Was he? Didn't know that.
Yes, the navigator, wasn't he?
Good actor. He died quite young, didn't he?
Yeah, he was riddled with cancer, if I remember right.
He is, or was, he was George Clooney's cousin.
He was, you're right.
And he's Rosemary Clooney's son. And Jose Ferrar's son, of course, where I get the name.
Yeah, well, his dad was in the original Dune.
Jose Ferrar. Oh, he was an old star back in like the 1950s. He was in an old, quite good actually, version of Cyrano de Bergerac, Jose Ferrar.
Ah.
And he was in, remember that 1980 series, The Return of Captain Nemo?
I didn't see that. Anyway, it's New Year's Eve in the OCP Security Concepts Lab. And I like this when he gets switched on. How did he turn himself on? Yeah, funny that.
Same way we do.
They just look at the hub.
Robo-wank.
Yeah. So it's New Year's Eve, and Melv's 8, Dr. L8, that's her name now. She goes in to give Robo a snog. Jammy bastard. Why is he right down on the floor? Is he? I can just imagine him being like a head in a jar, from, like I said before, from Futurama.
Yeah.
She's really low down. She's had to get down on her knees to give him a bit of slap and pickle.
They got his head on a cushion.
Well, the thing is, if you don't want a brain-based organism being that close to the floor, really, do you?
Yeah. You would think he must still have a face at that point then, and his eyes and things for her to be kissing him if he was some kind of...
Well, I think he's got the helmet on because as she goes in for the snog, I mean, it's left a greasy smudge, so that's got to be on his visor.
Yeah.
She kissed him on the eye. That was a strange way to go. He's friended then. He's friend-zoned. He's done.
Yeah. There's no chance of getting any lipstick anywhere else. Not on the other head.
She wasn't sticking her tongue in there.
No. Well, this is quite a clean shot. Because I notice yet again, this is another Blu-ray where it's just been upscaled from DVD, and I think that's just piss poor. And it's weird, it's like there's two different types of stock they use to make this film. Like a regular speed stock and then a high-speed stock. Because normally with higher speed stock, film stocks, you get a lot of grain because of the noise, because it runs faster. And some of these shots, they look really clean and nice. And then you get others where they look really shitty and grainy. But you would have thought they would have upscaled it to 4K from the original 35 mils. But they didn't. They just upscaled it.
A lot of lazy upscale jobs done these days, like really.
Yeah,
lazy.
but they're shit though, and they're so apparent. As soon as you start watching it, you think, this just looks like a DVD copy. And so you're paying Blu-ray money for a DVD copy. And they wonder why people download stuff from the high seas.
My TV's got a built-in upscaler.
Really?
So you're seeing a good picture anyway. It's an older TV as well.
Oh, that's nice.
An LG.
So yeah, that's we get our. Just let me to go back. We actually get our first sort of sneak peek of what RoboCop actually looks like when he's sort of launched, if you will. We get to see him in a monitor, but it's all bit cloak and dagger. And then back at the precinct where Murphy was last, which is I can't remember which metro it was, because he was at Metro South, wasn't he originally, and then he gets moved to.
This is Metro West.
I said Metro
Yes,
West, and
yeah.
I thought it was.
Yes.
So, but look at that. Look at that shot there. That looks pristine. So that was done on different speed stock. And then when you get the odd bits where it looks really shitty, then that's used on higher speed film. It's weird. Just don't understand.
Apparently, they got the ratio wrong as well.
Yes, I did notice that. If you notice at the top and the bottom, we've got a couple of slight black bars there. And that's why, because the aspect ratio is slightly off. So Dr. Melv 8, she's bringing some gear in. There's Bob Morton, and that bloke who looks like Buddy Holly a little bit. And Morton just no respect for the law. He just goes, "Who's this arsehole?"
So, what one's Buddy Holly, the black guy?
No, that one there.
I was being strange. Ignore me.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it.
I was being roll.
And there's Lionel Richie making his cameo as the janitor. You see him in the background?
Is it me you're looking for?
No, it's T.
It can't be Lionel Richie because he'd have been dancing on the ceiling.
You never know. So he's like, "Get lost. This is OCP business, not cop business." And the look on Reed's face just set it all. But if you look there, that was filmed on good quality stock. But later you'll see some odd bits and bobs where the grain and stuff is no, it's not. That's bog glass.
Yeah, that's a bit blurry, isn't it?
You know,
Yeah,
even though you see the publicity stills and the movie poster, I love the fact that they do it for the reveal straight away.
Well, you've got to keep people on tenterhooks a little bit longer.
Absolutely. I mean, we're 30 minutes into this movie, and we still haven't seen RoboCop.
Yeah, we've had teasy little snippets.
I want tenterhooks.
Is that Cockney rhyming slang for something? Maybe it's for cheeky fucks.
It might be.
You never know.
See me afterwards.
And I like this guy in the background there. He's not a cop, so I don't understand what he's doing there. But he's like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
He's a very confused criminal.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm trying to get arrested here. Do you mind?"
And that copper there in the background, kind of makes me laugh. He's got a pen behind his ear roll, and he just does this amazing, like, "What the fuck? Look." Like utter surprise, but he's doing it over the top, and it makes him look like he's overacting, but he does it in such a funny way. Here's another slightly, we get a bit more meat on the bone here, but it's yet again, it's all sort of like subtle shots to keep you guessing. It's like, what the bloody hell? What's going off there? Have they ripped off Vindicator? Maybe. Oh, look, they've got a Billy Bass on the wall there above the door. Nice.
Well before it's time.
Yeah. And in typical police fashion, they're all nosy bastards. And they all go running hell for leather to figure out what's going off. And we're going to get our first proper look at Robo in just a second. And I just love what they did with that suit. That,
great,
for its time, is fantastic. And it's 90% fiberglass. And it was very, very heavy. Peter Weller wasn't a happy chap because he was basically wearing a diving suit underneath it. And this was filmed in Dallas during the summer. And it was very humid, apparently. And he was losing a crazy amount of weight a day.
3 pounds a day from water loss.
Yeah.
He had to stop every 20 minutes and have ice-cold, air-conditioned air blasted on him so he didn't overheat.
Poor bugger. I'm sure he was gutted by the hardness of the role and the money he got.
There were 6 of the costumes made, 3 of them battle damaged and 3 of them pristine, and it cost $1 million.
Wow. And the first ones weren't particularly good, so they were all scrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is not really a shame. But there's our first real look at Robo.
Yeah.
When you were at rest, you will sit in this chair. Yes, I understand.
Yeah. When the microwave goes ding, my pot noodle's ready. Affirmative.
What flavour pot noodle, Trav?
Hang on a minute. Sorry, pot knacker.
Pot knacker.
I'm not. I don't know if I'm
Absolutely
supposed
right.
to tell you about this, but I did reveal the 2025 official line of pot knacker flavors this year. Selby grill steak, nasty nut crack. There's a jaw flavor. There's one that comes with 2 flavor sachets. You can either use the gusset mist or the Tokyo gusset mist sachet. There's clagnut curry. There's biker bollock bolognese. Bombay bum sweat, which is my personal favorite. Yeah. And then good old eggy cleft, which tastes like egg salad that's been left in its packet in the sun in the car while it's been parked outside B&Q for 3 hours.
You're not trying to sell these, are you?
I am. They're available now in Wakey Wines. So there's another bit of foreshadowing. Look, how do we know where he is? We've got a tracker, so we know when he's talking to Melv in the pawn shop, don't we, Melv?
I have nothing to say.
You dirty bastard! And this is what he eats. It's shit. It looks like shit. Apparently, this is supposed to be baby food. And I feel sorry for any kid that's made to eat like whatever the fuck that is. That just looks like shit.
Like a tumor.
It looks like shit and gravy mixed together, and not in that order.
A lot of exposition dumped in this scene.
Yeah, it's not very sanitary either, because when he shuts that plastic clack valve thing, it's just going to all congeal on that metal flap.
Is this the Bombay bum sweat?
Possibly. Or it could be the clagnut curry. I think that's clagnut curry, to be fair.
So
It's a little bit nutty.
This is just that kind of like a astronaut food, right?
Yeah, like you're getting the toothpaste things. And Johnson, who's a constant source of amusement in this film, says, it tastes like baby food. And Bob says, knock yourself out. Like, fuck off. And this is a good bit. They start giving Robo a bit of a test. Wouldn't they have done this in the lab before they were just about to put him in the field?
Well, you would hope, but yeah.
Yeah, they haven't drawn over that biro very well, because I could see half of it at the top side of a thumb.
Mhm.
But it's still good for the era. I mean, that's not bad at all. I mean, that was drawn on.
Yeah.
That's not actual computer graphics. That's what is it? Is it cell scraping, where they can scrape away like a coloured gel thing over the top?
Wouldn't it have been easier if they'd just given like a little light up pen or something to hold?
I don't know. It's 1987, Melv. You could only get them from Skegness. And this is America, so they might have had a bit of bother. But this is a good shot. And if you notice, it's looking kind of grainy in places. So yet again, a change of stock. If I was making a film and I got inconsistencies between stock, I'd be playing hell. I'd want somebody dragged over at Coles.
Well, one interesting thing, since you mentioned America there, I saw that the score was actually conducted and recorded in the UK.
Really?
Yeah, Basil Polidorus actually wasn't even allowed to conduct his own score because of union regulations.
Oh, them unions.
But no, the conductor eventually, fell in love with the score, even though he was a classical guy. Yeah, Basil Polidorus met him in the bathroom, and the guy was whistling a theme from the score while he was going. So he said,
as you do.
I got you to like it.
Yeah, that's not something you brag about. I was in the toilets.
And this noise was coming. Do, 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 do.
The score actually won the BMI Film Music Award as well.
Yeah.
Very well respected.
Really?
Yeah.
Imagine that. Oh, I'm just having a piss. Hey, I know you. You're that bloke what wrote this, aren't you? Piss off.
Can you pass us some toilet roll?
I've had to use one of my socks to wipe my arse on it. Can you get me some bog roll and chuck it under the door, please?
Actually, I think it's one of the original definitions of there was a TV show called The Old Grey Whistle Test. And that comes from the phrase, if the old grey-haired janitor can whistle your tune, you've got a hit.
Really?
Yeah. That's technically the full name.
Yeah, I wasn't particularly into Bob Harris. Anyway. Yeah, they're giving him a bit of a test. All these like voice stress and analyzers and recordings, and he looks a doink, doesn't he? Imagine seeing him on your Ring camera.
You have a face.
You'd get the
for
pepper
film.
spray out ready, wouldn't you? Old Melv's 8's giving him a bit of a look. Anyway. But look at that again. A change of stock. Look how that looks HD,
clean.
doesn't it? And there's a bit of there's a filter over the lens there. You know, like those mesh filters they use to get like that sort of weird lens flare effect. Can you notice that with the fluorescent lights at the top?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The way they're streaking across.
Yeah. And look at that. Look at his leg there. That doesn't look 100%, does it? Looks like it's just, we'll just rivet it together dead quick.
He's probably not wearing the full gear there. He'll just had the top bit on and the rest of the
I know he had a lot of trouble sitting down in it, and because it was so hideously bulky. In fact, if you watch the scenes where he's getting in and out of the car, you only see him from the waist upwards because he couldn't wear the bottom half of the car
wearing shorts.
Yeah.
You can't fault him, really. I mean, the temperatures they were making this in. I imagine Dallas being rather humid at the best of times. But in the middle of summer, wearing that really ridiculously heavy costume. Poor bugger. And I like this. This is where he lists his directives. So there's his three main directives. Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law. And we've got another bit of foreshadowing here. Directive 4, classified. And look at Bob. He just helps himself to the staff. You know, she was snogging Robocop 5 minutes ago. And now he's snogging her.
Well, you got one in every office.
Well, yeah. He's the boss. And that's life in the big city. You see an opportunity, you take it, Johnson. That's how you make it in the big leagues. And this is a good scene. The police are all on the practice range. And look at that, the Auto 9. Ooh. Which is just a Beretta with a few fancy bits attached to it.
Still looks amazing, though.
It does, doesn't it? But the thing is, it's a real gun. And it really does do the business. Obviously, because it's a real fucking gun. What the fuck am I even saying? Oh, dear. Oh. I see what you mean there. Yeah, so Lewis is the first to notice something's amiss. And then these coppers. Is that Timu Ron Jeremy? He looks different again, doesn't he, dry?
That one there looks like Jake Busey.
Who?
Jake Busey.
A little bit, yeah.
A lot of people who look like people in this. There's O.J. Simpson behind them, look.
Yeah, a little bit. There's that Poundland Kevin Bacon. There's a little Richard Dreyfuss lookalike there too, look. Next to Mario.
That whole picture looks like something out of Police Academy.
It does, doesn't it? Can you imagine that? If Ron Jeremy had been in Police Academy instead of Paul. If he'd have been Mahoney. Fucking hell. Has anybody ever seen Ron Jeremy in a film that isn't porn? Because I have.
Yeah, he was in Killing Zoe.
He was in Orgasmo.
And that was
which is a great film.
a porn parody.
It's a porn parody, yeah. He plays Jizzmaster Zero.
What?
It's a South Park movie. Have you not seen it?
No.
Yeah. Right. The premise is There's this
Park porn film.
Yeah. It's a parody of the porn industry, and they're filming this porno, and it's called Orgasmo, about this superhero. And he's got a thing on his arm, and it's called an orgasmerator, and he fires it at people, and it makes them orgasm. Ooh. So Trey Parker, obviously the voice of Cartman and Randy Marsh, and several other voices in South Park. He plays a Mormon called Joe Young, and he knocks on this door, and they're making a porn film, and this bouncer says, "Boss, there's somebody here to talk to you about Jesus," and he says, "Cut off the balls." So this bouncer goes to cut off Trey Parker's balls, but it turns out he could do kung fu and stuff, and this porn producer's rather enamored with him and thinks, "That's our next fucking orgasmo." And he basically blackmails him into making this porno. But he says, "I'm not doing any porn scenes." He says, "Because I'm a Mormon." He says, "It's all right. We'll use what we call a stunt cock." It's
I remember that now.
Yeah,
I saw that.
It's a well-renowned thing in the industry. And then during one of the scenes, there's a black guy dressed up in an orgasmo suit, and the director says to this guy, "Do you notice a problem here?" And he goes, "No." Because they're very bright in the porn industry, aren't they, if you think about it? But it's a great film.
Oh, yeah. I had that guy from Friends in it. I forget the name of the character. My brain is not working today.
Friends? I can't think who that is.
No, the one actor from Friends. The guy that was into dinosaurs.
David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer's not in it.
He was in a film about the men that invented boob jobs, wasn't he?
Oh, I confused the two.
Oh my God, I thought it was like a bizarre crossover for a moment there.
No.
I was getting rather concerned.
Sorry,
Anyway.
they're very similar. But
Yeah, the conversation took a nasty turn here.
Yeah, tangents again.
Anyway, Ron Jeremy was in Ghostbusters as well.
He was. Yeah. We're going completely off target again. Nothing new with this show, I tell you. So Anne's looking rather concerned, and she wants to get a bit of a peek. And there we got Robo. I mean, I just love how that metal's got like almost a purpley tint to it, which was more apparent in Robocop 2 because they changed the suit.
It was more blue in the second movie.
Yeah, but if you notice on the back of his helmet, it's almost that colour there. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, it is. Yeah, but the action figures that I have, they're all silver.
Do you know what I found? I was clearing the DVD cabinet out earlier to make space for some of my older consoles, and I found my eldest son's couple of his DVDs, and he got Robocop, the cartoon box set. I just don't want to watch it. I just thought, that's cool. That's as far as it got, and that's as far as it will get. However, his copy of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends on DVD is not going back to him. Because I'm keeping that. Anyway, Robocop's shooting away at these boards, and Lewis is having a good old nosy there. And Bob Morton, he's just fucking moist with all this shit kicking off. Oh, just look at that. That's a cracking gun. That gun does not belong in the 80s. That Beretta is way ahead of its time, I think.
It's just a normal Beretta, and they made that bit to go in the front, didn't they?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
And then it became the Auto 9. And I think it was one of the few guns at that time what had an ambidextrous mag release on it. I might have to look that up again, because it's been a couple of weeks since I did my own work on this. Look at that.
Nice bit of muzzle flash.
Yeah. And that recoil, that front bit, that must have a compensator built into it. That's nice. And these fucking board things, they haven't got a chance. But yet again, a change in stock. That looks cracking. The previous shots didn't. But that just looks... Hey, look, have you seen what he's got under his tit there? Under his arm. You know, in your washing machine, when you take that filter thing out with all the 1Ps in it at the bottom?
That's what it looks like.
It's one of those, isn't it?
You're supposed to take that out.
A screw off petrol cap.
Well, for a lot of stuff in movies, they do actually generally use plumbing parts because most people have no idea what any of it looks like. So they can get away with making weird things out of plumbing bits.
So anyway, he does the TJ laser thing. And That was just a great concept. Having his holster be a part of his own leg.
Oh yeah.
On the NECA action figures, that bit always breaks because they designed it so badly.
What kind of action figures?
NECA.
Oh.
Let me just have a look at the chat.
Extreme
Because-
Killer.
Oh, me?
No, me.
Oh. Let's just catch up with a few comments in the chat. Here we go. I think the battery's starting to go in. No, twat. It's all right. I pressed the DPI button on my mouse and it slowed right down. Alan G Super Squad 7 says, check out that beeping gun. It's true. We're on about Ron Jeremy and Police Academy. Brian says, Maboni. Nice. Sword in the Storm. I use a stunt cock for all my sex scenes. Really? Sword in the Storm says, was he in the scene when everyone gets covered in white goo?
Yes,
That's a good one,
right
that.
at the end. Yes, he was.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Nice one, Brian.
I am
Brian.
sweating like bloody Rolf Harris. I am in the dock.
Great chat there from Alien G. Bring that one up.
Yep. Please
Yeah.
be 11:30.
It's Alan G, isn't it? Not Alien.
It
Or
could
am I
be an
reading it?
alien.
Alan?
Well,
Could be
I'm
my
gonna
bad
put that
eyesight.
judgment.
Yeah.
Alan G.
There we go. Brian says to Sword in the Storm, thank God Ray didn't think of Ron Giant Penis Attacks New York. Same creamy end result. Oh, well, everybody likes a happy ending, Brian.
Ron Jeremy is Robocop.
Robocock, yeah. Part man, part machine, all porn. Alan, or Alien, as he's now known, thanks to Z. Robocop shoots off the target's arm, then his chest, then his head. Same progression as his own death. I didn't notice that.
Wow.
And you're quite right.
Hmm.
Sword in the Storm says that too.
Very good.
And Brian rightly points out, to me, it's saying some top trivia, yeah.
Yep. A bit earlier.
And
I was gonna
he
say-
gave it a re-rub last night.
Hmm.
So that's why he's clued up. Which is funny, because I gave it another re-rub. And it's funny, you notice something different every time. Sword in the Storm has the same problem as you. The leg holster broke my damn figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're crap. And when they done the reissue, they didn't fix it. It was still crap.
Yeah, and Melv, you missed this one. Sword in the Storm's picked it up.
Hmm.
Look at the doctor's sexy legs.
Yeah, I didn't miss it. I just wasn't telling you about it.
Oh.
He was
She's
enjoying it. in
got
his own private
legs.
time. Yeah.
She knows how to use them.
You see, I'm a nice guy. Gentlemen don't speak about their women like that.
Yeah.
So
So
hang
Lewis
on,
is
I have to rephrase.
Trev?
Gentlemen don't speak about
yes.
their bitches.
Trev,
Help desk.
before we go on, Ash928 said, how tall is Murphy? Because he looks quite short from the in-camera POV. Well, Peter Weller is 6 foot, but
Is
lot,
he?
and the other actors are actually shorter than him. But for a lot of the, if you look through his eye camera, it's the same height as the other actors. So either they
Ah.
moved the camera down on him, or they just never actually took his height into account.
Yeah, there is that, I suppose. But there is the perspective, isn't there, of film when they're filming stuff. So the first AD should have picked all this shit up.
Hey, it's a good movie, even if they got that wrong.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't use your brain when you're eating popcorn, do you? Are you all right there, Melv?
No, I had to make a noise, so I rolled my microphone up and it clicks. So I should have just hit mute.
Oh. Sounded like you were getting into some pervy device of some variety.
Sounds like he's had one of your pot noodles.
I
Boddicker.
paused it on the legs.
Other snack noodle things are available.
But they're not
So
cool.
Lewis notices the TJ laser gun flickety bit, and she's like, hang on a minute, I've seen that before. She looks odd there, doesn't she, Nancy Allen? And the thing is, have you noticed on all like the cast photos of how they are now, she looks the youngest out of everybody.
Yeah.
She's a silver fox, but she looks all right.
I think she looks a bit odd in all the pictures. That's definite Jimmy Cranky stuff going on. Definitely weird goings
Hang
on.
on a minute, I can't see any Nicola Sturgeon in her at all.
They could be
Maybe she-
brothers. They could be brothers.
Oh my God.
Maybe she was born a preemie.
Anyway, Bob Morton's he's just wet through with Robocop, isn't he? He's just so in love. He's like that spoilt kid what gets what he wants for Christmas. I mean, I know this is his project, this is his baby, but he doesn't seem particularly scientifically inclined, if you know what I mean, to appreciate the deeper aspects of what they've done to somebody. I mean, they've completely stripped this guy's human rights in death.
Yeah, I mean, these people are sociopaths, right? All of them.
Yeah. No respect, even in death. So Bob Morton says to Sergeant Reed, he says, Reed, he's going to need a car. But look how he comes in there. I wonder how many takes this took. And then...
I'll tell
50.
you.
Go on.
50. Because
yeah.
his hands on the Robocop suit were made of foam rubber, the car keys kept bouncing off it.
Yeah.
So they actually wasted an entire day's worth of filming to get that shot right.
I bet that was frustrating as hell for everybody.
See, that's where CGI would have come in, surely.
No, you can't have CGI in a film like this. I know they used more CGI than practical stuff in the reboot version, but that was just bad. It was
Just
shocking.
for the keys, though, rather than spend a whole day shooting it. And that was on film back then. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, isn't it just?
Yeah, but they also did the same thing with Spider-Man 1 when Peter Parker catches all of Mary Jane's food on the tray, and that took something 100 odd takes to get that right.
Yeah, but Sony got plenty of money to chuck at the wall at that one. I mean, Sam Raimi's well renowned for spending a lot of daft money and going over budget.
I seen somebody knocked a pint off of the bar. They just ordered a pint, right? And somebody said something to them, and they turned round and they hit the full pint with their arm and knocked it off of the bar, and it fell straight downwards. And he caught it before it hit the floor and didn't spill any.
Jammy bug.
Nice.
Yeah.
As Alan says in the chat, he says he calls him boy a few times, Bob Morton. He goes, go get him, boy. It's almost like he's his pet. And then he gets in the car and he does that same thing where he goes up the ramp and there's sparks and whatnot. And then he goes off into the city because somewhere there's a crime taking place.
It's weird that sent him out on his assignment like that, on his own, like unchaperoned. You'd expect it to have a handler or something.
That would have made a lot more sense.
It would have, wouldn't it, really? This is Bixby Snyder. He's the most popular man on TV in Detroit. And he's got his own TV show called It's Not My Problem, which is like a sick version of Benny Hill, I gather. Oh, wow. Can I have you both? Sure, we've had our shots. I'd buy that for $1. Oh dear, he looks well sexy. So anyway, this guy's like pissing himself laughing. He's Mr. Shopkeeper, and there's Mrs. Shopkeeper. And what's Have a Hank? What's that all about?
I have a hankering for a hunk of cheese.
Why, is that what it is? That's a hunk of cheese.
No, that was I shouldn't have said that because that's something we only had in the U.S. That
I want to say it says
that
there.
was an ad.
It says there at the side of the till. It says Have a Hank.
Maybe it's a typo.
Do you think it's some kind of sanitary cleaning device for Todgers?
Oh, handkerchief.
Oh, right, yeah, that makes sense.
And then a lot of beer advertising beside it as well.
Yeah, there is in this scene, because there's like Michelob and Miller Lite, amongst other things. And then this guy comes in and he tries to do him over. And this is great. I mean, he hasn't even dropped his ciggy. And he looks a bit like Don Vito, from Jackass. Like a thin version of Don Vito. So she's pressing the silent alarm. And here he is. And oh, look, there's Bud Light, an advert for Bud Light there. Who'd have thought that had gone the way of the dinosaur?
Have we seen the poster with the scantily clad female on it advertising the beer? Have we seen that?
I've not seen that. Oh, yeah, I could see it there. She's on the back of that thing, isn't she, there, where it says no checks? Is that the one you're talking about?
I
don't see no checks. Where's that? Oh, down
on the right-hand side, behind the Bud Light.
No, I don't think it's that one.
Oh.
Perrier, there we go, product placement. Oh, Jack Daniels as well. J&B.
You get a
What else?
lot of money for licensing stuff like that.
Yeah. Ritz, Tide. Oh, there's all
Tide.
kinds of stuff. Yeah, there's always there. Look, next to the Perrier,
It's a dream come true for product placement.
Yeah.
isn't it? And this guy's great because he's like going, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. He's going to get fucked in a minute by Robocop. But he just looks a right sleazy bastard, doesn't he?
He was only supposed to say it once, but he kept repeating it over and over, a total of 8 times while shooting at Robocop, and Verhoeven thought it was amusing and kept it in.
Yeah, there is that.
It is amusing.
True. Brian's just come out with something which I read about earlier. Bixby Snyder was due to be revealed as a nonce, but they changed it. True story. It is a true story. Brian Minimum says, hello, Minimum, by the way. Isn't that the woman from Songs of Praise? I don't know. She doesn't look like Thora Hird. Brian, I'm not a fan of bourbon, but he says it's criminal how much Jack Daniels is destroyed in this movie. I kind of agree. Oh, hang on a minute. I think Minimum's come up with some new flavour ideas for pot knacker. He's got Sellafield celery, which ain't bad. Nagasaki sauce. Oh my God, I'm not quite sure what to make of this one. Helmet mushroom flavour. What the fuck's that all about, Minimum? Gamer says, hello, Gamer. Miller Genuine Draft.
That's a terrible flavour.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I like American beers, to be fair.
I've got some trivia about that poster, but I've not seen the poster, so damn it.
Well, hopefully it'll pop up at some point. So, Mr. Fuck Me and his gun starts... yeah, it's funny that Ash had just pointed something out. And I agree to this because I've seen this before on earlier edits that used to be on ITV. Why me? Why me? In fact, they changed the line where Clarence turns up at Bob Morton's. So instead of him saying, bitches leave, they changed it to slags leave. But it sounded really convincing. What sounds more offensive, slag or bitch? Because I think
Bitches
slag sounds
leave.
worse. Slags leave. Slappers stay.
I think slags is a funny old word.
Yeah, it is. Oh, Mr. Fuck Me's shooting away at Robo. I'm sure that's a part of a metro there. The air vent on an Austin metro where his tit is. That's bizarre. There he is, Mr. Don Vito again. It's all that Mateo. Can you remember Mateo wine? I'm sure that's Mateo, isn't it, in the funky bottles?
Matheus, I think you mean.
know.
Matthias.
Mateus, that's it. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So, oh dear, he's bent his barrel. Yeah, there's lots of product placement. Oh, look, and there's an advert for that gay cowboy out the YMCA bunch there. Look, you see him, Randy, the cowboy. That's an unfortunate name, isn't it? Minimum's come out with a good one. Fukushima Glowfish. That's not bad. That's not bad. I like that. Oldest Gamer says, Jack Daniels is Tennessee whiskey, sir.
Jack Daniel was Welsh, by the way.
Well, yeah, with a name like that. Oh, look, Michelob Light, Bud Light, Miller Light. So I'm guessing these are all Anheuser-Busch products. So anyway, Robocop gives this bloke a bit of a twatting. And he ends up head first. He's caused more damage there. Oh, look, another bit of product placement for Coors. And another one for Bud Light in the reflection.
Competitors.
Oh, is that... there's a cigarette brand there as well. Is Winston, is it? Wasn't that a brand?
I'll give you a bit of trivia on this scene. That guy who's in the fridge right there, the stunt coordinator for the movie, Gary Combs.
Really?
It is. It was. He contributed to the idea of being thrown into the fridge.
He really looks like a danger to women and children.
But you know, his shoulder width he's a lot less chunky than the previous guy.
Ah, yes, he is. Yeah, he's probably... The stunt coordinator's probably not a danger to women, children, and animals. He makes James Herriot look safe. Thank you for your cooperation. I love that line. Badly digitized on the Amiga version of the game. Oh, the good old days of 12-bit audio. I'd buy that for $1. It didn't hit the TV. That's the weird thing. She's got a bit of a cheeky grin on her. Like, I think she got a bit of a wide on through that experience. And young Don Vito, he does look like Don Vito. It's bugging me. I like this. 3rd Street and Nash Avenue, 415 in progress. I'm guessing that's trying to tickle somebody's strumpet because that's where we're heading next to this faux rapey bit. If I can get away with saying that on YouTube. Brian says, incidentally, and he's wearing a different jacket by the time he lands in the fridge. You were saying, sir? Somebody was saying something?
No, I was just saying it is faux, so you can use the R word.
Wow, well, there we go. It's a bad wig. That's a terrible wig. So these two were really bad punk types. Are getting a bit fresh with this lady. There's an advert for Delta City. The future has a silver lining. Yeah.
Maybe she's got another wig down there.
More hair down there. So this guy, he's got one of those letter openers. Yeah.
That's not a knife.
No, it's Lurpak. That in itself, the shadow there, that's just interesting. And it's funny, the shadow that's being cast on the back wall there doesn't match either of those lads' silhouettes, does it?
I think it's meant to be Robocop.
I think it's the headlights from his car, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, the back.
The little one.
Yeah. On the back wall, the lower one.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's some trickery of the light.
It's
Well, Robo's got a set of calves on him, hasn't he? There, look. But this is a cracking bit. So, he's got his old targeting vision. Directive 2, protect the innocent. I reckon he's got muffo vision.
I reckon it'd be the trouble if that would have turned out to be a they them.
Controversial. Well, yeah, again, a classic example of different stock. Obviously, this is stuff for night time, and that's better quality. Would have had different ISO rating, probably. Or I'm talking bollocks, who knows.
No, the
Hello, Stark.
The film probably would have had a higher silver halide concentration for nighttime shots because it captures the light better.
There you go. Well, that looks a cracking shot. Anyway, he takes a shot and gives her a bit of a coiffery.
Oh, right in the peen.
Yeah.
Do you know the original version of this shot had him shooting the cheek of the robber, just grazing past her face and shooting the robber's cheek? But it was as they were filming it, Paul Verhoeven decided, why don't you just aim for his nuts instead?
Your move, creep, as Ash says in the chat. That is a classic. That's another line that's ingrained in pop culture history.
Yeah.
Your move, creep. And look at him holding his nuts. Oh, get over it, you drama queen. You put a plaster on your bell end, you'll be fine. And the guy is such a wimp. And I like this. She just can't believe what's happened. And then she goes up to give Robo a bit of a hug. And she realizes he's a robot. He's got no feelings. He doesn't really give a shit. I will call a rape crisis center. It's a classic line. And then we go to Town Hall, where there's a bit of a thing going off. The former mayor's not too chuffed with the results of the election. He's lost the election. And he's taken everybody hostage. So this guy, who's the head of the police SWAT team, he's just about to give an interview, and then Robo pulls up and they ditch him. And all the camera crews and reporters go over to Robocop to talk to him and find out what's going off. And I like this bit, just got to keep him talking. Just like, yeah, screw you, Jack. I'm just going to get on with the job. And I like this. He says, I want a recount, and no matter what it is, I want my old job back.
This is actually based on a real situation that happened. It was 1978. The San Francisco mayor, I think, was ousted, and he took hostages. It's a copy of that.
Oh, that milk thing.
I want to say Harvey Milk.
The Twinkie defense, which is why there's eating Twinkies and stuff in this as well.
Yeah, but he wants a car that gives really shitty gas mileage.
Yes. So, yeah.
And this is why we love you, Help Desk, because you know the things that we should know, but we are too lazy to go that far.
I am great on a pub quiz as long as you don't want any definitive answers about useful stuff.
Yeah, I'm great in a pub quiz as long as all the questions are before 1990.
Yeah.
This is the funniest part of the film here, definitely.
I like this bit where it goes, hey, let the mirror go, we'll even throw in a blaupunkt. Yeah, that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, did they say he wanted a bigger office as well?
Yeah, and a car that gives really shitty gas mileage. How about the SUX 6000? Oh, dear. And I like this thermograph.
Not really thermograph. They're just actors in bodysuits which have painted neon on
Really?
them and put under a black light.
There's under black light, yeah.
Yeah, clever.
The more you know.
Clever idea.
Yet again, a creative use for a practical effect.
Hollywood trickery at its finest. But
it does look great.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
It looks better than Predator, to be fair. Can you imagine if they'd done Predator like that?
They probably did do Predator like that.
Well, when it was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And Damage.
Playing the grasshopper. That was great.
Yeah. Well, this is great. I love this bit. Robo just punches straight through the wall. This next slide is a corker. Because that look on his face, that's genuine. He's fucking shitting his pants.
That is genuine fear.
Isn't it? He doesn't know exactly where this scene's going to end up going. You could tell.
Beavis and Butthead parodied this in the Steel Justice episode.
I can't remember that, but that's going back some. And then look, still the look on his face like, what the fudge bobbins is going off here? But he's about to go up in the world and then like down just twice as fast. He's out the window. Robocop, who is he? Where is he? Then we end up at media break, and then we get this bit here. Any word for the kids, Robo? Stay out of trouble. I thought that's another line, isn't it? That's ingrained in pop culture history. I love it.
So much of this movie is quotable, though.
It is. And in typical... I mean, this is the thing. I mean, no offense to your fellow countryman, Wayfarer, but like American culture at that time, everything was like more about entertainment than factual news delivery. And
I think it still is.
Yeah,
and this is just like it's that hyperbole of news where it's become more of an entertainment facet than an actual information source.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to say the thing, but we did in the end anyway, so I might as well just fucking stop beating around the bush. Oh, and then we cut to an advert break for Nukem, where the threat of nuclear war is turned into a board game.
Duke Nukem.
You crossed my line of death.
Risk.
Yeah. No more, was it no more...
no more military aid.
That's it, yeah. Nukem. Nuke them before they nuke you. Another quality home game from Butler Brothers. I think out of all the parody adverts that Paul Verhoeven and Ed Neumeyer put into these films like this and the sequel and Starship Troopers, I think the best advert out of like all the films that they've sort of done together. I mean, I know Verhoeven didn't do Robocop 2, but I like the Magnavolt advert in Robocop 2. I think that's the best one.
Magnavolt.
And it won't even run down your battery. That's John... Oh, what's his name? John Glover. The American John Glover, who was the devil in... Oh, God, what was that show he was in? Anyway, he played a trill in DS9, didn't he? He stole Dax.
Oh.
As you would.
Yeah, but he had to give her back.
That's right. Oh, God, was that show called Stone?
Brimstone.
It was what Brimstone, that was it, yeah.
In the late 90s.
Yeah.
That That episode also had Tim Russ playing a Klingon in it.
Yeah, he kind of looked like a dollar store version of Kern, didn't he? Worf's brother.
Yeah.
We ain't found shit. That'd have been good looking for him, wouldn't it?
A career spanning so many different roles, and his most famous one is just putting a visor up and shouting, "We ain't found shit." I love
Yeah, but he was combing in the desert at the time.
He
You've
was.
got to cut him a bit of slack.
with an afro comb. Well,
So on the news, they're interviewing Bob Morton, of course, OCP vice president now. And he says we're predicting the end of crime in old Detroit in 30 days. Bit of a bold claim. But it gets him into the executive lounge. So he's going for a slash. And these two guys, they're chatting shit about Dick Jones. Guys, they're like, they're queefing a little bit. You can hear the queefing from here, can't you? And I just love that look on Bob Morton's face, like, oh, he looks really smart, George. And who should come out of the shitter but Dick Jones? This guy, he pisses down his leg. I've got to go to a meeting. I'm going to be late.
Oh, the amount of times I've done that in a nightclub.
Yeah. Anyway, Bob carries on with his piss, and he's all like nonchalant, and he's like, oh, hey, up, Dick, you're all right. Hi, Bobby boy. And then he grabs him and he says, oh, you just fucked with the wrong guy. And it's kind of the gauntlets are laid down there between the pair of them. Bit of testosterone going off. But never mind. It's all for the good of the plot. So anyway, cut to this scene a little bit later on. Robocop's in his, could you call that a robo bed? Pretty much is, isn't it, for all intents and
Robo
purposes?
gaming chair.
Yeah, with stick-on attachments. I noticed they have to plug him in, look. I never noticed that before. Let me make this bigger. Let me make these slides slightly bigger. Come on, you fucker, move. There we go. I never noticed those wires before. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, he starts having a dream. Thing is, you could take the human sort of side of a person and make him a cyborg, but you can't get rid of that human spirit. It remains, doesn't it? And I like this. You're seeing like clips of Clarence Boddicker, and Robo's like acting out his death. He's acting out Murphy's death, and they're like, "Oh, look out! Big lad's online," but he's not. He's still asleep. And then comes to this bit here where Clarence takes him out. It doesn't look as threatening there, does he? And I noticed that guy who was in Greatest American Hero, he looks a bit more like Chris Rock in that scene, doesn't he, there? Pre-slap. And Ray Wise, he just looks, I don't know, dopey. Hey there. How you doing, George?
Yeah, that was a porn shot for Ray Wise there, didn't it? That was a porn shot.
Yeah. Hang on. He's on the vinegar stroke there. Run, Jeremy.
Face.
Yeah. So, yeah, these brainwaves are off the chart there. And it flatlines, and then he wakes up, and then he decides to do one. And he says something. Does he say something somewhere that there's a crime taking place, or does he say that to Lewis in just a moment?
No, when he's with Lewis. He doesn't say anything during this scene.
He just chuffs off, doesn't he? He just disappears. So they're on the dog and bone to OCP. And this is where Anne gets her chance to say, Murphy, it's you. And this is another sort of like moment in the film where Murphy is basically being resurrected in his own mind for all intents and purposes. Would you agree with that assessment?
Most certainly would.
And that's one of it's a pivotal moment because it's yet again another catalyst what brings the human back out of the machine.
I just had an epiphany moment.
The
The sergeant there, he looks like a very small Bubba Smith.
Okay.
Do you know the
Stream
Hightower from Police Academy.
I know Bubba Smith is.
Yeah, but small tower, if you will.
More like
Short
high-rise.
tower.
Bungalow.
Bungalow, yeah. Note upstairs. Yeah, so Lewis gets a bollocking off Bob Morton, and Bob Morton threatens Reed's pension at this point. And she says, "Oh, sorry, Sarge, I fucked up." And she says, "Oh, don't worry about it, kid. This guy's a proper arsehole." And then we get to this bit here. Guy working in a gas station late at night. And this guy comes up and taps an Uzi on the window. And look what it is. It's Emil Antonowski. Yay!
And the other
Jeremy.
guy is a Paul Verhoeven self-insert.
It's what?
Is a Paul Verhoeven self-insert. He also wore spectacles and studied maths when he was in the Netherlands.
Right. Okay.
So the character's a parallel of him.
I see. And to say he's a college boy, yet another product placement for Perrier. And he likes to smoke. And he's like, Emil's like, fill her up on number 4 or whatever. But he's a midget, that guy. He's tiny, Emil. I wouldn't be, if he'd not got that gun with him, I wouldn't give a shit.
Well, it's a gun.
Well, yeah. I mean, it will do that, won't it? So anyway, Robocop's there looking, oh, look, we've got a crime in progress. And he says, what are you studying there? And he's like, plain geometry. Are you a college boy? I bet you think you're pretty smart, don't you? Think you could outrun a bullet? He goes from, like, being quite funny, then he just turns into, like, a psychopath, which just shows you how the character is just so unhinged.
That was something that bothered me about this. The bad guys were just too unstable and really, there was nothing really smart about any of them. And all that giggling, I thought, this doesn't really work. All these guys would be in jail or dead long before it got to this part of their life.
Maybe so. But then again, it's hyperbole, isn't it? It's
they weren't going for realism. They were going for, I don't know what they were going for, but that bit, I thought that was the worst part of the movie. They didn't work for me. I didn't believe them.
Sword in the Storm says in the chat, college boy looks at least 30, and then some, I'd say. And and then Robo turns up at the police station, and he's like, dead or alive, you're coming with me. And then he's like, light bulb goes on above Emil's head. He goes, wait a minute, we killed you. I know you. We killed you. You're dead. So, he starts mulling it over and he's replaying it. And the bit of Robocop sort of trying to process exactly what he means by that. And yet again, is this another part of the human psyche where the human part is trying to break through the programming, the computer part? Is it trying to come to the fore so it can, how can I put it? Like when they were making the Robocop 2 variants in the sequel, none of the participants, shall we say, for want of a better word, or volunteers, could survive the process. Maybe it's the fact that the way in which Murphy died and the whole point of him getting revenge and all that stuff and being previously a devout Catholic and whatnot, these are all aspects of his psyche what helped him to survive the process of becoming a cyborg.
You can read a lot into it.
Because they tried to make several replacements in Robocop 2 and they all just ended up going fucking mad and or offing themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The fact about being, emasculated, isn't it? And not having a cock anymore and not being having a body image.
I think in the Robocop remake, they tried to address that by actually getting to a point and he was starting to go over the edge. So they actually had to get rid of all of his emotions, so he didn't feel worried about it anymore, effectively. And so,
they remote controlled him chemically, didn't they?
Yeah. So they took him back down to just hiding the organic section and just being.
Or what now? What did you say? Or what?
Well, I don't know. I was just waffling on about the fact that they just.
I thought you said orgasmic for a minute.
Organic.
Oh, sorry.
Organic. It means the person bit of the cyborg.
Yeah. So Emil starts shooting at Robocop, and he's still processing what Emil's just said, and he inconveniently hits a petrol pipe. And while he's watching this replay, everywhere's getting sprayed. College boy's smart enough to do one. You wouldn't really stick around, would you? He didn't take his Perrier, so it couldn't have been that good. So Emil chucks a cigarette on the floor, and it obviously ignites the fuel that's on the floor. But Robo, 'cause he's hard as fuck, he can just walk straight through a shockwave. It doesn't bother him. And he takes a few shots at Emil's motorbike, and he just hits it right on the engine in the right place. And this makes Emil do a bit of a skidder, not just in his underpants. And he hits a car, and he goes flying over it. Robo picks him up, and I just love it. Who are you? Tries to interrogate him, and all he's getting is like, and because he's not getting anywhere, he just fucking drops him on the pavement, and he don't half go with a thud. So props to the sound effects department. They must have dropped a watermelon and a pound of bacon on a concrete slab just to get that noise. This is the AT&T phone exchange in Dallas.
Is it really?
Mm.
This is one of my favourite scenes in the movie when he gets out his data spike.
It is. I mean, you and data ports, I'm not surprised you got excited.
Oh, I just love long, sharp objects being inserted into my data port.
It's not as phallic as R2's insertion probe.
It's got a bit of a point to it, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah, but he can wiggle his round, you see.
No.
Yeah, he's got twistable bits. And I thought that was Cecil, but it's not. It's a different guy, isn't it? He's like, oh, you can't come in here. And look at that, typical typecasting. Just because it's an IT department, they've got to have an Indian guy there. I never noticed him before until now. He's wearing a turban.
I think they've gone for a very interesting strategy when it comes to all the cops in this movie. They all look like they really shouldn't be cops. They should all be doing something else.
Well, these guys are nerds.
Yeah, but I mean, even the ones out on the street, none of them look like they should be police. The criminals will look like they should be criminals, but I think it gives you a whole idea of the fact that they're completely outclassed in anything they do, which is why crime is so bad.
Look at that guy at the bike with the mustache and the clipboard. He looks like he needs a shit desperately.
If you had that walking past you, you'd probably shit yourself as well.
Look at her. That lass there, she's looking for his dick. Where's his dick? Look at her. She's looking where his cock is. So anyway, Robo's looking for a data port. And this guy's, you can't be in here. And he goes, gets a nice little... And that's... Who's getting excited? Sounds like somebody's committed frottage in the background then. Who was that?
I think
nobody's...
He's just put himself in vibrate mode to...
nobody's admitting to it.
I'm sorry, my wife called, but I am on vibrate. At least I'm not on ring.
Oh.
I do have my love eggs in.
You see, there you go. That's it.
I don't mind a dippy egg now and again.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute and I'll be right back.
All right, no problem. But that's that nerd. He look on his face, and that other guy is like, oh. He's looking like, where could that go? I wonder. So
another almost look-alike. Rick Moranis was that one.
Yeah, doesn't he a bit? And look at that guy right at the very back. He kind of looks a bit like Porkins.
Yeah.
Top men.
The only thing that confuses me about this is who else would have one of these spikes?
I don't know. Have you seen the size of a USB stick in their reality?
Very true, but did they put this in just for him? I can't see how any other officer would have a practical use for it.
True. I think this is just like an OCP level data interface of some variety.
Well, he does log in under the OCP ID.
Yeah. Oh, look, he's giving it a twist round. Oh, let me... Oh, for fuck's sake. That's me trying to appease you, Z. I've gone and titted up now.
I've missed him fisting the console.
Let me try and get back to where we were. Right. I can't remember exactly where we were. No, need to go a little bit further. Do you know, it's been like a fucking Dennis Norden episode, hasn't it? Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Just for you, Z.
Harder, Trev, hard, faster, more intense.
Oh my God. Oh, crikey. It's going to be... Hang on. It's getting a bit jumpy. There we go. So he's in the system. His access is 001, Division OCP. I like that. Hey, look, you can get sex out of it. You'll like that, won't you, Z?
Hello.
Alias ID and sex.
Hello.
You'd be
If I've
well
got
away
my
there.
sexual offence record up there.
Isn't one of your aliases Hello Sailor?
Calm down. Don't everybody. They'll all want some. Oh, I've been queuing up around the block for a hand shandy.
Somebody thought they were giving freebies away at the chip shop. It was you giving away free samples. You and your Savloy. Put it away. His inputting data finds out that this guy's Emil M. Antonowski. Vital statistics. 5'1". Felony rap. Preferably Eminem. Yeah, again, different stock. Look at that. That looks proper HD quality. So anyway, known associates: Nash Leon, although the picture's changing. Joey Cox, the guy from Greatest American Hero. I can't take him seriously. Steve Min. He looks fucking scary. And there's the main man himself, Clarence J. Boddicker. I wonder what the J stands for. I wonder if it's same as Rimmer's. Is it Judas? Clarence Judas Boddicker.
I don't know. With a name like Clarence, it's got to be something like Julian.
Thing is, though, would you be scared of somebody called Clarence?
Not in the slightest.
No.
Could be juicy.
If I met somebody
called Clarence.
If I met somebody called Clarence, I'd slap them and take the wallet just out of principle.
Oh, as you do. Are you in Glasgow by any chance, Melv?
Yeah, it would be rude not to.
Of course. So anyway, he's going down the rap sheet, and it comes up with suspect in the murder of Murphy, Alex J, and we're missing a fucking slide again. Christ. Hey, dear. I'm paying for this shit.
It's easier.
I'm paying for this shit.
On that slide, Murphy is heading to Primrose Lane, his old address.
He is indeed. It's fucking Robo-Stalker, not Robocop.
There we go.
So he's heading to Primrose Lane, his former residence. He's a bit of a stalky bastard, isn't he?
I think he's just trying to put together the pieces that he's got.
I think he's got to rationalise his world. He's like, I think it's a case of not like amnesia, but he knows who he is, but he doesn't, and he's got to quantify his existence. He's got to relearn who he was and now who he is. Because he's an amalgam of two people, isn't he? But look at that again, different stock. And it annoys me, this does. That, look, it's mirror perfect. Isn't it? The light coming off his suit and everything.
It is, but when you go into the house, it just goes all grainy again.
Well, that shot's not too bad. I wonder if they changed reels halfway through. Yeah, it is a little bit noisy.
Maybe they upscaled some and not others. They thought, no, that'll
yeah,
do.
Well, what that just seems...
Shiny and that bit
Did they go out of the way? Hang on a minute. We're releasing this on Blu-ray. We'll make 50% of the film look great, and the other 50% look shit, like it's off a pirated VHS. I miss pirated VHSs. They were cool.
They've just remastered it from whatever original ones they had, and if the quality of the ones that they had in storage wasn't great, that's the best they can come up with.
Yeah. So anyways, he's having a flashback here, and he goes back to his kid watching TJ Laser. Dad, can you do that? But just a look of bewilderment, like, what's going off? I should know what this is, and you know, he can't make head and tail. It's like his brain's digital soup. And the person that was Alex Murphy is still in there at a subconscious level. And he's like he's almost hacking himself from the inside out. So instead of being purely Robocop, he's becoming what's left of Alex Murphy.
Yeah, it's like his brain, his memories weren't erased; they were just overwritten, and he's digging them out. Which just shows the resilience of the human spirit, I suppose.
The human condition.
It can overcome the mechanical and electronical. But there's this computer here, what looks like a bad Apple computer. And he's just sell. Good, I'm glad you are. And they left his mug. She's soon quick to forget him. Oh, well, he's dead now. I'm buying a vibrator. Thanks.
Clearing out the house, but we'll leave this mug.
Yeah.
behind.
And
Widow's
then,
pension, money, money, money.
yeah, ka-ching, he's dead now. I can have a gigolo at the weekends called Brian or Barry or Cyril. So, yeah, Robo finds this picture. It's Murphy and his family. And then he has another flashback where the quality is rather dubious again. And look at that. I love that shot. The flash and everything. It's just, they've created the memory, so he's got the memory, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
But the way Verhoeven shot it from a POV, I think that's really good, especially for a film like of the mid to late 80s. I think that's a really intelligent concept.
The score was really effective here too. Not just this frame, but the whole sequence.
Mm.
It was like, I don't know. It's something that after like hearing about it, I listened to it again and I was like, oh yeah. It's like the way you could hear the themes, the motifs from before, but they're transformed in a way almost like it's like it sounds more organic, almost like the human aspect is coming back or at least being stimulated.
Another clever comment from Alan, who says the last thought Murphy had of his family was driving away from them. This shot of him coming home is the reversal of the same shot. That is true. I like that.
Wow.
That's very, very well picked up on.
You know, when he goes in there and he's having those memories of his son dressed up like Satan, right? You got to keep in mind that his brain is fried. What if he walked out and thought, the boy's the omen, he must die?
I don't know. That might be the Bollywood version of Robocop. I don't know if, have you seen that? Have you seen that there is actually a Bollywood version of Robocop?
I have clips of it. It's
I've seen that
terrible.
fight scene against the woman, and that was hilarious.
It's bad. It looks like somebody's molested Dusty Ben, and
I think I might have it somewhere, but I don't think I've got it in English, and the quality is really terrible.
no, I don't. Look, it's all right to laugh at from a distance, but no, I don't think I'd really want to be experiencing it again. Alan also says they also don't use the foot stomp sound effect for the home scenes, almost as if he's actually stepping into a dream stroke nightmare.
Oh, very evocative. Great direction.
Yeah. And Ash says, all joking aside, this movie is way more than an action movie. It has some very thoughtful moments.
Yeah. I said it at the start, this whole thing's sort of like a good example of the human condition, about the difference between man and machine.
Power extreme. Yeah, different stock again, obviously, because all these bits were filmed at different times. But he gets that photo and he kind of loses his shit a little bit and screws it up, doesn't he? He starts getting, to say he's a droid at this point, he really shouldn't have any emotions, but he starts getting a bit cross, bless him. And then, Melv, you wouldn't kick her out of bed, would you?
Yeah, we've already done this one, haven't we?
No.
Didn't you bring her up earlier on?
No, this was when he was dying.
No, but I mean the picture of his wife, though.
Yeah, well, that was when he was dying.
Yeah, but she looks the same.
Yeah, but in this shot, she's single.
Technically, yeah, true.
Okay, that one's a winner then. We're good.
And he kind of loses his shit, doesn't he? He gets rather mad, and he twats the screen. And then he starts rounding up Clarence's known associates.
His foster children.
Because this is the thing, what stops him from going insane. I think the only reason he survived this whole process of becoming a cyborg is because at this stage, the only thing that's driving him, the only purpose he's got, is the whole revenge aspect. That's his driving force now. He wants to avenge his own death. There we go. That's a bit of cheap psychology for you. Yeah.
Two lookalikes here. You got Willem Dafoe throwing the kick, and you got Billy Zane on the right with the blonde hair.
Yeah. It does look a bit like that. And I love the bit where he goes to get his gun out and Robocop knocks it out of his hand as some just random greaser just grabs it. And then Robocop grabs him by...
missed it.
And what?
In between these two slides, there's a little shot of a guy who's doing a mental dance. That's Paul Verhoeven's cameo.
Yep. Ash
Oh,
93
yeah,
has commented that
yeah.
as well.
I did have to be economical. There were over 1,000 slides, and I had to like whittle them down. There's about 600 and there's about 700 slides altogether on. Well, there was until they started disappearing. They were all there when I uploaded them. This thing says processing when I put them on here. I wonder if they've titted it up. I think these people have got a cold because they've got lemsip on a table. And they're all sharing a lemsip.
Yeah, they couldn't get any hot water.
And she spilt some talcum powder. Oh, I don't think she meant to do that.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's got asbestos in it.
Well, I hope not, because I'd rubbed some around my balls earlier when I came out of the shower.
No, that was a big thing. They probably took her out, I don't know, a couple
I
of
thought
years
it was
ago.
mercury what was in talcum powder.
No, there was a big scandal. They had asbestos in talcum powder. Mercury's just in the baby food. Don't worry about that.
Oh, that's fine then.
They'll be fine.
Yeah,
They're
well,
already stupid.
that's a bit of a shame. It's either lemsip or talcum powder, and she's just accidentally knocked some onto her breasts. Anyway, ring-a-ding-ding, doorbell goes, and he says, hang on a minute, I think that's the champagne I ordered. Is it the champagne? No, it's a Clarence-ogram. And this is where he comes out with a, bitches leave. And she's like, are we going to see each other again, Bobby? And I fucking doubt it. The last person called Bobby ended up getting chucked out of a van, so I can't see Bobby Morton being around much longer. It's a nice shooter he's got anyway. Actually, just going back on tail, Melv, on your shagometer, what would you give this lovely ginge?
No, thank you.
Far too many gingers in this area of Scotland already.
I don't know. I wouldn't say no. I like older women.
I wouldn't buy her a drink unless she had a good-looking friend with her.
Well, Clarence ain't bad if you float that way.
Yeah, put him in a frock, nice wig.
Oh dear. Anyway, Bob's like, don't you know who the fuck I am? I'm Bob Morton. I made Robocop. And he's like, oh, shut the fuck up. And then shoots Bob Morton in the knees. But the look on Clarence's face, now he's got him where he wants him. He's like so smug. And another bit of foreshadowing, he puts a CD in. There weren't such a thing as a DVD at that time in 1987. But he puts a CD in, and there's Dick Jones. Looks bizarrely like my mother-in-law for some reason. Fucking hell. I never noticed that before. Ooh, freaky. Yeah, so Paul Verhoeven and Ed Neumeyer foreshadowed the DVD. Yep. Hello, Bobby boy.
Video CDs didn't come out until 93.
True. So, yet again, that's pretty cool. I like that. And I love this. This shows you how fucking sadistic Clarence Boddicker is. He takes the pin out of a grenade with his tongue.
That's actually impossible to do because it requires, I think it's 32 pounds of force to get one of those out. You'd rip your teeth out if you tried to do it.
You don't know how strong his tongue is.
Yeah, he might have had lessons from a pro like Z.
He might be a cunning linguist.
You never know.
You make it a lot of practice.
Anyway, I was just about to give Help Desk a big up there, and you just scuppered it, Z. Never mind. Anyway, thank you for that, Help Desk. You come out with these facts that we just don't know exist. We don't know how you do it. And it just says, well, I'm cashing you out, Bob. And just look at that. That stock, this is what fucks me off about this. Some of the stock just looks shit. And then you get a shot like this, and it's perfect. Quality-wise. You can even see the pockmarks on Kurtwood Smith's face. And like as well, have you noticed he's got some coke on his face? He helped himself to Bob's coke.
What a scumbag.
Can you see that around his nose and under his glasses frames?
Yeah, he could at least have chipped in a tenner towards it.
Oh, sorry, lemsip. It's lemsip. And possibly talcum powder. Bob's going to try and get hold of this grenade, but I don't know what he's going to do about it because I can't see that having a fucking off switch. And it's got 7 seconds left on it, so tough titty. I'm cashing you out, Bob. And one desperate grab. No, dear, too late. You're toast. It's an interesting scene. That it just shows you the very aspect and the nature of business. Nothing's personal; it's just business. But in this case, it was personal. So a bit of an irony there.
Very over the top.
Yeah, well, it's all part of the magic of movies, isn't it? And you've got to have that hyperability.
Yeah.
And this is a good bit. This is the drugs factory run by Sal. Guns, guns, guns. And he's trying to cut a volume discount with Sal to buy cocaine. And he goes, blow this cocksucker's head off. And everybody just cocks the guns, ready to go. And if you notice, that guy at the back there with the mustache, the quite stocky fellow, he was in Total Recall as well. He was with one of the blokes, Harvey from Verk. Where they meet Quaid in the downstairs bit where we have our first batch of killings by Quaid. He was with Harvey from Verk. Guns, guns, guns.
I don't want to fluff with you, Sal. Hell, I don't even like you.
Yeah. I like how he's negotiating with him. And what does he do? He sticks his fingers in his wine and then sniffs his fingers. You don't know where he's had those fingers. I mean, dollar store Chris Rock's got a bit of a smile on his face. He could have had a bit of a backdoor insertion. Just a misunderstanding.
I was only pulling your leg.
Yeah.
Lol.
Oh, and then there's a knock at the door. Is it the Jehovah's Witnesses? No, it's not. And I like this. The people who work for Clarence are very loyal to him. He's like, go, you get going. I'll sort this out. And then Robo comes through the door.
Yes. Point of interest. Peter Weller said this is one of his favourite memories in his film career.
Any particular reason why?
While he was filming this sequence, he was listening to a particular song on his Walkman inside the Robocop helmet.
Was it Breaking the Law by Judas Priest?
No, it was Red Rain by Peter Gabriel.
Oh, really?
Very good.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
He should have done Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
That would have been great. But this shootout was not supposed to be this fast-paced because most of the automatic guns kept malfunctioning during filming and they didn't fire as often, so they used quick cuts instead.
Well, that's good. I think that's efficient filmmaking. Make use of what you've got.
Definitely.
And I like that about Verhoeven. He is a very efficient filmmaker. And he's like that in Total Recall as well. There's no time for much bullshit. It's just get on with it, get on with it, get on with it. And a lot of people don't like blunt filmmakers, but is that a very European thing? Anyway, I digress. So he's targeting all these particularly rum gentlemen with bang bangs. And he's very methodical here. He's weighing everything up. And he's getting all the shots in. And everybody starts shooting at him. And this guy here, he's like a porn version of Jesse Ventura, isn't he?
He's a beige Mario.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering? Then if the answer is yes, you're ready for Captain Freedom's workout.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. But look at him. He looks like a porn version of Tony Danza. But he gets shot.
Who's the boss there?
Not him, Robo. But this is a great action scene. They tried to repeat this for the second one in the Nuke Factory, but they didn't quite pull it off. Irving Kershner was trying to get that same kind of feel, but he just... Whereas I think Kershner does certain things better in the sequel. There's just something about Robocop. It's head and shoulders above anything else in this genre, I think. I think Verhoeven definitely struck gold on this particular production. A lot of Uzis. And Uzis tend to be supposed to be reliable guns. Anyway, but look at this. He looks like Peter Duncan, but like a dollar store version. Do you think he Duncan dares, Z?
No, if Peter Duncan and Keith Chegwin had a love child, perhaps.
Maybe it's a result of the poison from the tree scorpion.
It might very well be.
I thought it was Kim Jong-un.
That too. But this guy's not going to be doing a deal either because he's going to get his pot knackers shot off by Robocop. Sal even has a go. And then the bloke from Werk, he starts shooting his loads. And he shoots Sal. And if you noticed, there's a quick cut here. There's a cut scene. And if you look very carefully, you can see that Sal is wearing like a corset thing with a big wire cable on it. And he just gets yanked backwards into the boxes like that. But you see the boxes cave in first. You know, because the wire going through it at such a rapid speed. It basically grots the box before he gets in it.
It's quite a traditional thing to do in Hollywood because they've done it in loads of movies. The famous one being Batman, of course, where you can actually see the wire on the guy's back, and as Batman kicks him, you just watch him get yanked.
Yeah, it's like when we did Highlander, when Conor McLeod wins the prize from the Kurgan. When he gets lifted up, there's like energy waves and lightning going up in straight lines, only to cover up the wires that he's getting suspended from.
Yeah, it didn't work.
No, not at all. So anyway, Robo's kicking ass now. He knocks Joey P out.
In the same method that Lewis was taken out earlier.
Yeah, a lot of ironies. You don't notice, do you? You can just be not oblivious to the fact, but the good filmmaking, it engrosses you so much you don't always take note of everything unless you slowed it right down.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah. Anyway, Clarence is trying to get out of the way of Robo. And I like this. They're stamping out drugs. And it really works, as it does. So anyway, he gets his hands on Clarence. And this is where the revenge sort of starts kicking in a little bit. And it says, get stuffed in a different way. And spits on Robocop. But Robocop kind of loses his shit a bit here. Because he starts giving Clarence a bit of a slap round.
Yeah, starts reading his Miranda rights. And if you notice, he doesn't actually start recording him until he says, anything you say will be used in the court of law.
Interesting. That's a little bit of a nugget there. Hey, help desk, are you sweating at all? Z's giving you a run for your money.
You betcha.
I am interested in everything Z has to say. It's nice to meet someone with a pointless amount of knowledge as I have.
Hey, when he's on point, he's on point. But if he's in a fucking bad mood, you'll know about it. Anyway, moving swiftly on. He really does, as characters go, he has to be reminded that he's a cop. I work for Dick Jones. Dick Jones owns the cop. You're a cop. And he's like, Directive 3 comes up on his screen. And he goes, yes, I am a cop. And then Clarence just looks freaky. Looks freaky without his glasses. So he takes him into the cop shop. I mean, he does look quite,
Fell down the
foreboding.
stairs.
Yeah, he slipped on some chewing gum. He says, book him. What's the charge? He's a cop killer. Oh, you really fucking screwed up, didn't you, Clarence? First of all, your name's Clarence. That's where you fucking screwed up first, mate. Oh, dear. So anyway, Dick Jones has got his robo-tracker out. And I thought that, this was a bit of yet again, more foreshadowing. They always knew where he were at any particular point. And I think that's particularly not a good thing. Not for him anyway, because he knows he's coming. So he turns up to the OCP officers. And he gets in and he starts playing back some references and stuff and evidence. But Dick Jones is just so smug. He's like, he knows he's got an ace up his sleeve. But what could that ace be? Come in, officer. How can I help you? You're wanted for murder. So he goes to try and arrest Dick Jones. Oh, look at difference in quality of stock again. product violation. This is the infamous Directive 4, which was classified.
Oh.
And he says, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, and here's Shitty Ed 209. Who cares if it didn't work? He'd got spare parts for 25 years. He was going to give away freebies and, free Ed 209s on The Price is Right. He'd got it all planned out. This was his nest egg. This was his last thing for OCP, because what he was going to make off this was going to pay for his retirement. And Bob Morton just screwed him over. You can't blame him for having him shot, really, can you?
And the
Ed
theme
209
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the theme for Ed 209 was basically characterized by one note. There, Polydorus was trying to emphasize that it was a very simplified thinking machine, or at least its thinking was very simple. And it still milked a lot of music out of just sending around one note, but it was just that one thing. It's like, I have one program. I just kill, no thought.
Yeah.
Right. Wayfair, I'd be interested to see what you think. I think there's a lot of inspiration for the music taken from Terminator.
Yes.
They seem to be very closely related.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you think that is like representative of the genre, because it's robotic, it has to be synthetic, it has to be monotonous in a way.
But when his human side comes in, it's the change in the instruments as well, so it becomes a lot more. I think it's strings and sort of like woodwind rather than actually, electronic instrument.
Right.
Well, he's got a good understanding of the script and the deeper meanings behind, what it means to be human or machine. So I think possibly, Neumeier and Verhoeven sat down with the composer and said, this is what this means. Can you make more of this? We've given you a bit more meat on the bone to work with.
They had trust amongst each other because before Polydorus worked with Verhoeven on Flesh and Blood. And then he kept them on. And in fact, it was Polydorus who did the score for Starship Troopers.
And another thing that makes this scene, not just the atmosphere, but the impeccable stop motion on Ed 209, it really makes him look so foreboding and like a giant that's just going to crush him like an ant.
There is that sort of intimidating aspect of Ed 209. Because even though Robocop's 7'9", compared to Ed 209, he's just like a regular person. How a person would be regular compared to a Robocop.
If you go back one slide, all right, the compositing on our lovely human there is actually quite bad, because obviously they have to insert him into the stop motion shot, and you can see how in this still frame you can see how bad it actually is, even being superimposed on top.
Yeah. Yet again, that's two different two different qualities of stock. Yet again, I don't know who would, whether it was a Kodak thing or what, but there's been lots of films where there's been slight accidents in stock. One film in particular, it's Tron, because there's certain bits in Tron when Flynn's inside the computer realm, where there's flashes and sparks and like really dodgy looking bits. That was an actual difference in between reels, which is good. I mean, it works as a free practical effect, really. So Ed 209 slapping Robocop around, and that's quite a good quality prop, really.
It is
for a little 8-inch model.
Actually, I'm looking at it right now. It almost looks like Marvin's head from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
always reminds me of
white.
a microphone grill. The the grill over the mic. It kind of looks like that to me, anyway. But yeah, so Ed 209 continues to give Robo a bit of a slap round, and Dick's just smug as chuff about it. And there's some great bits coming up, because even though Robo's taken a beating, there we are. There's the human looking from outside in or inside out. Take it either way. But yet again, another aspect is that the human is there. There's another layer of Murphy that's coming back. Almost. That's the way I interpret it anyway. Yeah, because he's got that determination. He can fight back instead of just being a machine. I mean, just look at the his face says it all. It's like, determination. You're not going to beat me. There's that human spirits breaking through. He uses Ed 209 to effectively blow Ed 209's arm off.
Yeah.
So he gives himself a blowjob. And he has a bit of a moment, and then Ed 209. This is another good bit as well. I mean, obviously, that's a close up of the little 8-inch figure that they used for the stop motion bits. But they did actually build a full scale sized version. Fair enough, it was like balsa wood and whatnot. But look at that. That's actual off the full scale bit. And you could tell a difference there in the quality.
Yeah.
Obviously, they had to scale it up to make it a more practical effect to emphasize that these rockets are being launched.
I love yellow and black caution tape.
Oh, yeah. And it automatically reminds me of a Ghostbusters trap.
Yeah.
Or the power loader in Aliens.
Well, yeah, there is that. But these are some good bits. And that guy who Peter Weller got the mine lessons off, he really did a good job, because if you notice in the earlier stages of the film where, Robocop's just Robocop before Murphy starts surfacing, it's very robotic, it's very mime-like, and then towards the end of the film is sort of the way his body language and his body movements are become more and more human. So that is another aspect. This is a good shot. This is quite interesting, because if you stop this in the right place, you get to see the wire. In fact, you could just see it at the top, right? If you go from where Ed 209's head is, see that bit of dark, like, scoring on the wall?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you see the wire?
That's the cable run for the missile.
Yeah.
So it goes in a straight line.
Yeah. You can see it. But like I say, on certain shots, you can get it just right. And it's just so apparent. But Robo keeps taking a beating. And this is what makes me laugh. Ed 209, Enforcement Droid 209, which is designed to work in urban, jungle, desert, you name it, it can do it. No, it can't, because it's like a fucking Dalek. It can't do steps like a Dalek. And we don't. What happened in Sylvester McCoy's run is not indicative of the rest of the Doctor Who franchise, with Daleks that can float up staircases. Well, this is quite good. It's like the machine is trying to learn how to negotiate the steps, and it just can't do it. And then, it goes arse over tit. And the thing is, why does it sound like a pig? It's like, come on, boy, squeal like a pig. And it really does. Yeah, so Robo gets away with it. And this is funny. Dick Jones's office is like near the very top of the tower. Because he says on the phone, doesn't it, there's trouble in the tower. Robocop's just gone down one flight of stairs, through a door, and then he's in the fucking car park in the basement. That just...
Is
some
it in
things...
the basement or a multi-story?
I don't know. I think it's a bit of a multi-story, to be fair.
So I got a bit of trivia.
Go on.
Slightly related to this. We were talking about before the Ocean Software Batman game.
Yeah.
On the Amstrad, the cheat code to jump levels was Ed 209. You hold in Ed 209 on the keyboard and you could jump levels.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool. In fact, there's a little tiny Ed 209 in Fortnite you can ride around on.
Yeah.
In one of the skins you can get. So Robo comes into the car park, and there's like that SWAT guy from earlier. He's there, and he says to all his boys, go on, when you see him, start shooting. And a couple of the police officers protest. They say, he's a cop, he's like us. But no, this police lieutenant, he doesn't give a shit. And they're shooting the shit out of Robo, and he's like, go on, keep him going. And Robocop tries to scramble to get away. He does a natty little trick here. He like rolls off one ramp and then directly through another one and then another one, where he ends up on this level, and then this car stops in front of him. But luckily for him, it's Anne Lewis. So she helps Robo get away from that shooting squad. And they even take a shot at her too. These are good cops. And then we break for another one of these parody commercials.
Bruce Campbell. Not.
It's not. It's Dollar Store, Poundland Bruce Campbell.
This is just a Chewits advert.
It is, isn't it? I'm waiting for him to pick that bus, use a couple of buses as roller skates.
Classic television.
I like to chew it.
Do they still make Chewits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not as good as they used to be, though.
No.
They're like, I don't know.
They used to make them in Liverpool, and then they moved the factory to the Czech Republic.
Oh, well, that might explain it. Like Opal Fruits, they even brought the name Opal Fruits back, haven't they, temporarily?
Did they?
Yeah.
Mm.
Bloody Starburst.
Yeah, that just don't make sense.
Chewits were better.
Definitely. I miss Toffos. You don't see them anymore, do you?
I miss Jolly Ranch. You can't get them in the UK properly anymore.
Yeah, you can.
No,
B&M bargains.
Chutney flavoured outer spacers, mate. They're the future.
Pickled onion, Monster Munch. That's what you
Space
need.
Raiders, still only 10p. So there's an advert, and yet again, it parodies America. 6000 SUX. Sucks. I like that. An American tradition, 8.2 miles per gallon. And then they go on to, this is another part of Media Break, where they start interviewing people in the community around that particular part of Old Detroit. And they're saying, this homeowner, the cops, they shouldn't strike. And the next bloke they talk to, it's fucking Shaggy. I'm Otto from The Simpsons.
He was fantastic. Why was he never in every other film that was ever made after this? He should have been in.
Yeah. He's an unemployed person. Kiva Rosenberg. I'm doing same, man. Oh, God, here we go again. Oh, thanks a bunch. Fuck me stupid. Oh. Do you know, this entire Robocop thing has just been a nightmare.
It's nice when modern technology makes life easier for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Robocop get caught in the blizzard there. That was a scene in the film.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it's funny, we circle back to where it all began. The place where Murphy, well, not dies, but he's sort of in the process of being murdered.
That looks like the exact same image from before.
Well, it's a different one because the car's going the opposite way.
Camera's in the same spot, probably, I suppose. Same building, it would look the same.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thick, I don't know.
I don't know.
So that white slide that you've missed there is that's the Clarence Boddicker having a meeting with Dick Jones at his office.
That's right, correct. If I got time, I'd check the original files. Pardon me. Because when you upload to here, it says it's processing them. And I don't know why it has to do that when they're all on PDFs.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to stick with EV Mux or not.
Yeah, I don't know. All these streaming platforms, they've all got a certain quirk to them.
Oh,
haven't they?
yeah.
They either work or they don't. But this is. I mean, these have been uploaded and on here. When we were going to do Robocop, was it 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
So they've been on. All this stuff's been on here for a fortnight. So God knows what's happened. Maybe they've let the T-boy have a go. Oh, just pick on Trev's stuff. He sounds like a dweeb. He might not do anything. So anyway, Anne's been to the police station. She's got Robo a few bits and bobs. A couple of bottles of baby food and, gun and a Black & Decker drill. I like this. Robo can fix himself in part. Just takes a lever out and just makes his leg work. I wish I got one of them fuckers, especially in the morning or when I'm pissed. This makes me chuckle. Them bolts are way too big. There's obviously nothing between the ears, so where's his brain?
Well, it's a computer, so it's all just stored somewhere else.
I don't know. They don't really... I mean, fair enough, they don't have to. They don't have to explain it biologically.
In theory, you could actually just make a human-looking thing, but have the brain actually stored in the chest, because that's underneath armor. There'd be more difference. So,
there is that, yeah. So anyway, he takes these bolts out. And he says, look away, you might not like what you see. And she's like, what have you got, like a Hitler stash? Has somebody drawn a knob on your forehead?
Guten Tag.
No, he just looks like a paedophile. So anyway, we got to this bit here, and Bixby Schneider. Oh, can I have you both? Sure, Dave. We've had our shots. I'll buy that for $1. And Emil's sat watching this, and he's just basically smashed the window with a bottle of Jack Daniels. You don't do that. You don't waste, alcohol just to turn the sound up on a TV. So he's watching Bixby Snyder. And then Clarence turns up, looking a bit gay, to be fair. I've been in jail. I had my cherry popped. I dropped the soap. You can call me Clarence anytime you want. Anytime. So, I like this. Joey says, "Ooh, look, a new toy." And he brings out the Cobra assault rifle. And he shoots up Joey's stolen new SUX, 6000 SUX. And he's like, don't do it. Bang, too late. And just a look on the faces. That car, that's toast. Sorry, mate. Oh, he's not too chuffed about it, but I can't see him having a melt at Clarence. But look on Clarence's face like, yeah, bitch. They love it. They love him. These guys are so loyal to him. And then Emil gets a go at this, and I love this next bit. And he blows that TV shop up. I like it. Yeah. And then Joey starts having a shoot round. And they're blowing things up. And he's got Robo's tracker. And I like this. It's got like a little portable Lemsip sniffer. I like that. That's a very good concept. That's very Temu, isn't it?
I have to get myself one.
Yeah. But,
purely for Lemsip.
Yeah, I'm thinking that you're getting the backdoor version. With enemies like these who need friends, eh? So anyway, they go off to find Robocop because they've got this tracker. Meanwhile, in an undisclosed location, Robocop and his impressively Bruce Forsythy chin are having a bit of a look at baby food.
That's really well done, that effect with the head. That is really well done.
Yeah.
I mean, remember in T2 with Arnold Schwarzenegger when they stuck the kind of bit of metal on his face with a red eye on it to try and make it look like the skin was gone. It looked awful.
Yeah, that was a Stan Winston practical effect, I know. So
But this here looks a lot better. Looks much better. Robo Team was really good at his job on it.
He was indeed, and he didn't really get the credit I thought he deserved.
It kind of peaked between here and Total Recall. Like basically the entirety of the 80s.
Yeah, and then he got replaced by CGI and crappy looking effects.
Sorry, not between here, between The Howling and Total Recall, I think.
I'm just reading up. This scene actually, Verhoeven and Bottin actually clashed. They actually had an argument whilst filming. Bottin was concerned that Verhoeven was going to use too much light and expose the makeup work, whereas Verhoeven was arguing that nothing would be exposed, and Bottin refused to speak to Verhoeven for the rest of the film and vowed never to work with him again. It was only after the movie came out that he agreed to do Total Recall.
Well, you're not going to turn money down, are you? Not in this industry. So anyway, Lewis is asleep. Murphy, or Robocop, or whatever you want to call him, sets up 3 bottles of baby food. And what's a really considerate thing to do when somebody's asleep? I know, take pot shots at baby food. She jumps up like she needs a shit. And he's going, I can't aim. Oh, she says, I'll help you. So he's missing like hell, and he can't target in. So, Lewis helps him retrack his tracking system, and he manages to blow the shit out of his baby food. I don't know what he's going to eat. It's not like he can go to a McDonald's drive-through. So he can't process it, can he? He's got, obviously, he's got no real workings in there if he's got to eat baby food.
Just like fuel.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, the bad guys turn up. Clarence is having a cigarette. They've all got Cobra assault rifles. So, we're going to call him Murphy from this point on, because he essentially, he almost is.
Yeah.
Because right up until the point of him getting his revenge and killing Clarence, that's when he fully becomes Murphy again. So he chucks a bit of metal at a wall and they all spin round. Look at Clarence. He looks like an old washerwoman, doesn't he? So they all start.
Me.
Yeah, looking for me. No, is your name Daniel? Are you Seven Uncut? No, not you then.
Sarah Connor.
Yeah. So they start shooting the shit out of things, and it's not him. So he turns around and starts firing away. He shoots Joey, which is kind of ironic, really, because most of these guys die where Murphy was murdered, for all intents and purposes. And then Emil, he don't take no shit. He really doesn't like Robocop. It must be something to do with that petrol station incident. He didn't get his SO points. Anyway, tough crowd. Moving on.
Well, it's Exxon nowadays.
Oh, well. Emil takes a shot, misses, and then Ray takes a shot, even though his name's Leon in this. And Emil gets in his van, and he sees Robo. This is one of the best scenes in the film.
Oh, yeah.
This is the one everybody talked about. Back in the 80s, when everybody were watching this, I mean, at my age, I had to wait a good... You were looking 18 months, weren't you, before anything hit the video shops back in those days. So it was virtually 1989 when this came to video shops. But when we all watched it, we were all talking about it. And going on about this scene. So Emil wants to get him. He's got a real thing for him. He's got a hard-on for Robo. So he's trying to get him. And let's see how this works out for him. Is it going to end well? We shall see. We shall see. So Emil puts his foot down. Robo starts shooting at him. Obviously, he's going to duck because he's taking pot shots. And Robo just gets out of the way in time. And I love this bit. When he hits, there's the faintest spray of water comes out the sides. Yeah, there we are, at the back. And then just as Robo looks back, the back door's open. I'm not saying anything about back doors, see. I don't want to get you too excited.
Yeah. I'm already excited.
Oh, that's all right.
Steamy.
And, it's a bit moist in there. And Emil's all, it looks like he's been to Turkey. He's had a bit of work done. So he's had a dip in the toxic waste. He's like, he's all melting and stuff. And it's great. Meanwhile, Clarence is trying to, I don't know, fucking fly around in his 6,000 sucks. Lewis is out to get him. This is a fantastic shot, right? I love how Verhoeven pans in and gets level with Clarence as he's driving at speed. But the only thing what lets the shot down is you can see the camera fucking truck. Can you see it in the reflection on the doors?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
And if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't notice that. But the way this is shot, if they could have taken that out or masked it somehow, that would have been a really, I mean, it really is a good bit of photography. I like the way they did that.
But according to the cast, this was the most boring part of the movie to shoot.
Really?
They often stole golf carts and would race them around the steel mill.
Wasn't this in, was it Pennsylvania or Ohio where they filmed these bits, the steel mill?
Not entirely sure.
Well,
I'm sure I read it. It wasn't...
let me look, because the Allegheny County, like Pittsburgh area, was big into steel.
Yeah, and looking at the background, it looks almost Appalachian, doesn't it? So anyway, Anne's flying around in her cop car. She bumps into Clarence, and I love this bit here. When that hubcap comes off, when it goes past the camera, it goes, whoa. I mean, I know they've added that effect in post, but that, to me, I mean, that camera wouldn't have been rigged for audio. Because they're not anyway.
It was the Wheeling Pittsburgh Steel Corp.
There you go. I knew it was that neck of the woods.
Monson, Pennsylvania, specifically.
Pardon?
In Monson, Pennsylvania.
Ooh, argue the toss with an American.
I'd bet
People
that's
down
Western PA. Let me check.
It's been
I'm originally
down.
from PA, but I don't remember Monson.
I've been to Pittsburgh, but not since 1982.
I
But
saw
maybe-
you too there.
Anyway, I just love the whole hubcap firing off this car. And just barely missing that camera. If that, like, $10 hubcap would have hit that camera, that wouldn't have been not a very fair exchange, would it, really? Ash says, Clarence driving a Rover 820. I like that. That's got to go on screen. Nice. So I love this look on Ray's face. Leon Nash. Oh, man, get away from me, man. That's really compassionate towards a comrade, isn't it?
Listen, Trev, if you were melting, I wouldn't give two fucks. I'd throw you on the motorway myself.
Hang on a minute. Did you say if I was Melvin? That's not very kind.
If you were melting.
Oh, sorry. It's me headphones.
Yeah, it sounded like Melvin to me as well.
Yeah, that's right. I thought Melv.
I'm quite offended on behalf of people who are actually called Melvin.
There you go. I'm sticking up for you, mate, really.
The MFAA actually wanted to cut this scene out of the movie.
Do you know, I thought for a minute you said MFI. What the fuck have they got to do with movies?
No, this scene wanted to cut from the movie, and everyone had to fight to keep it in. They were saying it was, the least liked amongst test audiences, but it was done by Rob Bottin as a because he did makeup on a movie called The Incredible Melting Man, and he used the same effects here to give the illusion of someone's muscles just literally melting off of their bones. So he used that in this and fought to keep it in.
That is just the whole concept of this scene.
Yes,
it would have been a sheer waste if they'd taken this out. But yeah, that's a convincing look of being completely shitting your pants at seeing a former friend turn into basically blue tag. Look at this; he's still steaming. Thing is, though, his jeans don't even look wet. His leather jacket was obviously vinyl. That's melted away. And his shoes are steaming as well. I have no sympathy for those shoes because those shoes were shit. But I just love the whole fact that Emil's steaming and he just happens to walk in the wrong place at the wrong time. Clarence is like, oh, fucking hell. Look at that.
Cody.
Look at that. That
lovely.
That's got Rob Bottin all over it, hasn't it? Just look at that.
And they honed it back so they didn't get a mature rating in cinemas.
Yeah. We don't like our ratings. They're not as commercially viable for the studios, are they? They always want to aim for the PG-13s all the time. You were saying, Melv?
I said it's how we would have wanted to go.
Yeah, I suppose. I think that's how Z wants to go. He wants to make a big splash.
Not a big red splash.
No, I didn't say a big red one. I thought you'd
prolapsed again.
Oh, just wrap some cotton wool round a rolling pin. You'll be fine. Anyway, Clarence can't see where he's going. And for the top of the line, most expensive car in America, you'd think it'd have windscreen wipers, wouldn't you? And screen wash.
He probably didn't know how to turn them on.
There's a lot of blokes have that problem, don't they?
True.
So anyway, Lewis goes to look, see what's crack-a-lacking, and Clarence shoots her. Take note of the Cobra assault rifle. That just happens to be in the right place at the right time. And he goes, bye-bye, baby. Clarence! And then if you noticed, Wayfarer, you should have noticed this bit. The musical cue changes here at this point. And instead of it like being almost computerized and methodical, it's very like revenge, like we're coming up to a climatic scene. He's going to get some revenge.
Yes, he's going to.
Yeah. So anyway, Leon sees what's going off here, and he just happens to know that crane's working still. So Clarence notices that he's going to that crane house, so he gets a bit cocky, spits his gum out. And Leon goes, look at that, the light's still on. This place has been abandoned for about 50 years. The light's still on. That bulb still works. What the fuck?
Leon's got a Cobra assault cannon. Just shoot him.
Yeah. Maybe he's out of ammo. Anyway, I mean, it all still works, which is great. That's a great testament to American ingenuity. Well done, America. That place has been abandoned for 50 years and it still works. And this is a great line. He says, "I'm not arresting you anymore, Clarence." He's just going for the kill. He just wants pure revenge at this point. He wants to avenge his own death. And can you fault him, really? Mm. And I've noticed on this particular set of prosthetic makeup, it looks the wiring and the tubing on the side of his head looks more pronounced. It looked a lot closer when he was in the steel mill previously. But look at that, the look of determination. I'm not arresting you anymore. Fuck that. I'm going to kill you. So anyway, Leon drops a bunch of scrap on him. And he goes, I got him, Clarence. I got him. I got him. Yeah, bragging off. Lewis gets hold of that assault cannon. Boof. He's gone. One left. Out of all them people that Robo wanted to kill. I hope Robo doesn't take it personally and then go for Lewis because she's denied him a kill. Anyway.
When all of those steel beams came down, he was a dead man. That was over. I don't care if it was Robocop or not. That was him coming down at that angle, like long ways, right on top of his head. The end.
Yeah. There is that. But then again, it's a film. You don't have to be too logical and question it too much because you're just there to enjoy the experience. So we get to this bit here where, Clarence is going to stab Robo. He's got basically like an 8-foot-long steel toothpick for giants. And he keeps taking a swipe at Robo. Robo keeps deflecting. And then Clarence gets a bit lucky and gets 180. Straight in, he thinks he's going for the heart, but obviously, that's where Robocop hasn't got a heart there. But it's still hurting him anyway, because he's obviously got that whole look of anguish and, pain on his face. And this is great. Z's favourite bit, but not because he's going to use it as a self-defense mechanism.
Forced insertions, my favourite.
I know. I bet your bumhole's chomping at the bit. So he goes, sayonara, Robocop. And then...
And it's great when he pulls his arm back and he gets covered in claret.
It just goes splosh, the biggest splosh. Obviously, I couldn't show too much because apparently YouTube doesn't like the red stuff too much. You have to go steady with it. So I'm told, anyway. But again, look at that. Let's go back. Look at the quality there. Look at the quality of that. Look how much noise there is in that grain. And it just looks badly focused.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine they would have filmed all the scenes different and used different film or whatever.
Yeah.
More likely of something that they've done in the upscale and they just done it very lazy.
Well, maybe in order to do the effects like the hand flying off and all that, they had to use the high-speed film there.
Yeah, possibly. There is that.
Look at that grainage on this. It's terrible.
Isn't it? It's an affront to cinematography everywhere. Ash928 in the chat says Scrap Heap Challenge. I've just noticed that's Crash Bandicoot. I love Crash Bandicoot. Great game, still. So, yeah, that's just so disappointing. But then again, we go back to that shot and look at the detail in that ironwork and everything.
So crisp.
So, obviously, I mean, you could tell there's a big difference in light. So I think that Clarence's death scene was done later in the evening. Obviously, they would have had to use different ISO settings and maybe a faster speed film. And that's why there's such a huge variation. I'm sure there's somebody somewhere that's going to watch this on the rerun and go, fuck all, and you don't know what you're talking about. I hope, if you do watch this on the rewind, hello, common people. Thank you for joining us. I'm hoping somebody knows more than I do and can put me straight on that without calling me a fat dickhead or words to that effect. We had enough of that on Friday night. We had tremendous fun with the trolls in the chat. So he says to Lewis, don't worry, they'll fix you. They always do. And so Robo ends up going back to OCP Tower. Dick Jones is doing a big spiel. He's obviously selling something else. Maybe Ed 209, who knows? And it just looks a bit pouty here, doesn't he? It's like, oh, stitch you, I'm going to get you. You were illegally parked. I could actually try and do that while I'm here with my stupid robot effects.
You little kid.
Let me...
Here we go. You are legally parked. You have 20 seconds to shift your fucking car, mate.
Oh, God, I love this thing. Revolutionized my life.
Command.
You got that vocoder, huh?
No, I didn't, actually. I got a Roadcaster Duo.
Oh, yeah.
Which I use for other things, and it's fantastic. The preamps on this thing are a dream. Onboard Aphex processing, but I digress. Which means now I've got a load of rack-mounted outboard gear I need to sell.
Huh.
So I'll put that on Facebook Marketplace, and then all I get is messages, is this still available? Yes. So anyway, Ed209 tries his luck. Robo's having none of it. And look at that. He's got a genuine smile on his face like, yeah. And Ed209, he's done for. They're not very robust, are they, these Ed209 units?
Well, every time we see Ed 209, they fail at what they're doing. So it's like OCP have just made them and just kind of tried to get them out as quickly as possible without doing loads of testing.
Yeah. Wayfarer, I've got one for you now. You might be able to answer this. Who was that Dr. Ruth, who was the sex therapist? What was her name? Can you remember?
Ruth Westheimer.
Isn't that her at the board table right there in the background?
It looks like it.
Jones, you're suffering from anxiety-related erectile dysfunction.
That does look like her.
It does, doesn't it? As soon as I saw it, I thought, that's her. So anyway, Dick Jones is giving all this bullshit pattern.
Why was I the expert on Ruth Westheimer?
Because you would have... See, she wasn't a thing over here.
Oh, okay.
The only time we ever saw her were on TV shows that sort of took a look at American pop culture. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
We
All
had
right.
Claire Rayner over here.
Oh God.
We had Gillian McKeith for a while as well.
How come is it right? She was obviously the biggest fucking virgin ever. How could she advise people on sex when she wasn't getting any? And when she did get it, it was off for a fucking dildo. Anyway, Robocop interrupts the board meeting. Yes, officer, how can I help you? Do you know, a lot of people find it hard to believe that he's that kind old reptilian man from The Last Starfighter. When I tell them it's Dan O'Harley. Anybody? No?
I've not
Good
seen the
In the last
last
Starfighter, I didn't actually think of that.
Yeah.
Barely remember that.
He was also, Dan O'Harley was in Halloween 3. He was the bloke who owned the Silver Shamrock Corporation.
All right, he was the old Irishman.
Yeah. Well, he is actually from Irish heritage, isn't he? O'Harley.
Season of the Witch.
That's it.
That
8
was
more days to
wasn't a good film.
Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Yeah, that do you know something? That scene where that kid's watching the TV with his parents because they'd sold a load of them masks, and they show him that video and his head just turns into bugs. That always freaks me out. And that one where there's that woman in the motel and she accidentally fires one off, and that cockroach just comes out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Goes into
shoot-
her hair.
Shoot
Oh.
the lips off and you just see the teeth in it. Think of that.
Yeah. Always freaks me out, that. That's a really like, Dick Jones is wanted for murder. What's your evidence? Directive 4 comes into play and he gets Z's favourite toy out. I don't think
Look, still covered in Clarence's blood. Amazing.
I don't think you'd be too impressed with an insertion of that variety, would you, to be fair? It'd make you wince a little bit, wouldn't it?
It would.
Bring
If
a
it was
tear
going
to
in
your eye.
dry.
They'd change your name to Wincy Willis, wouldn't they, just for the crack.
That's
Well,
a really
anyway,
good thing.
Robocop's got onboard computer-assisted memory, and he brings it up picture perfect. I had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase that mistake. And he leaves it on play, and Dick looks like he needs a shit. That stenographer, she just doesn't give a shit, does she? She's like, yeah, so what? And I like it, Harry grabs hold of the old man. The old man looks really convincing here. And do you know what makes me, like, question Robocop a little bit.
They have a
In the
loaded gun in the boardroom.
Yeah, I know. That's, you give somebody a P45, you don't know whether you're going to be going home in a fucking box, do you? You don't leave it hanging around. Obvious. Now, the old man is quite sweet and lovable in this movie, but in the sequel, he's a really stone-cold, heartless bastard. It's funny, like, one film is sort of like, yeah, he's not such a bad guy after all, he's just the old man.
It's hard to imagine, though, when you see the kind of people who work at that company. You think the guy at the top's got to be the worst of the lot, right?
Oh, yeah. But then again, he's at the top. He doesn't have to worry about everybody else because they're all, competing against each other. And some of them are very unhinged and deranged. Anyway, I want to move on because we've been at this nearly 3 hours. So anyway, Robocop really wants to fuck Dick Jones up. And luckily, the old man says, Dick, you're fired. And he goes, thank you. And he's been looking forward to this. And then Dick gets it. Oh dear, Dick's full of holes.
Nice spread there, like 4 on a dice.
Not bad to say it can only fire 3 shots in a row. But Johnson's got a boner on here. He's really fucking hard for Robo, isn't he? He's like, yeah, oh yeah. Because he's technically in charge of security concepts now. And he shoots Dick, and we're all going to say it. Those arms. Yay!
There's nothing you can say about that. It's not perspective. That's just bad compositing.
That's just Phil Tippett was in a hurry.
Yeah.
Remember Monty Python's Meaning of Life?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I was thinking that where he's like turning on the faucets, the nipple faucets.
Yeah.
Do you know something? He could put a whole new meaning on the word reach around. Because he could reach you around the fucking corner as well.
I caught a fish. It was this big.
Yeah.
You could
Bullshit,
reach around to
Nick.
the guy standing 3 steps behind me.
I've just shaken the vicar's cock. Where was he? About 2 yards away. Oh, look. And then Johnson. Who's Johnson giving a thumbs up to? Because Robocop was to his right before.
That's Denzel Washington. What are you talking about?
Is it?
Look.
Oh.
Like, I don't know.
Is this? This is obviously pre-turkey, not post-turkey. And nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy. Which he likes because he's Irish after all. Dan O'Harley. And thank fuck that's over. MC says in the chat, Mr. Tickle. Fucking best impression yet. Which one are you on about? Me or somebody else? I don't know.
That was after your Ed 209.
I thought it was Dr. Ruth.
I don't know.
He didn't imitate Dr. Ruth.
What's your
Anyway.
name?
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. That's right.
I would like to thank everybody in the chat tonight for joining us. I really do appreciate it. If you're watching this on the re-rub, please do comment below. I like to answer your comments and stuff like that. And thank you, Wayfarer Project, for joining us.
Well, thank you. It's been a delightful pleasure.
Melvin, thank you as always, sir.
No bother.
Help Desk, thank you. You and your accrued knowledge.
Brillo, Metal Fuzz, please tell me somebody actually gets the joke.
Robocop's pubes?
Just Robocop, Cop, Fuzz, Metal Fuzz,
Yeah.
Robocop.
Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh.
Jesus.
3 hours.
Appreciated
3
genius,
hours.
man.
I already laughed at that once.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
it's a pity laugh.
It was a sympathy laugh, not a pity laugh. And as always, Z3PO, thank you for brandishing us with your very own unique blend of WD-40 and white fluid. I'm
Thank
hoping
you
it's
for having me on.
water soluble.
It most certainly is, and thanks to the panelists and thanks to the chat. It's been a good one.
Thank you, and I'm quite moist. Fubar Friday. Not quite sure what's happening there yet. We'll make an informed decision later on in the week. Next week, Z3PO, you better be available, boy,
I most certainly am.
because you can tell everybody what the film is next Monday.
Face off.
It is indeed. And apparently, so I've heard, a rumour in the toilets that you can eat a peach for hours.
Depends how old she is.
Oh, he.
Confused.
I heard he, but no, that's a different story altogether. Thank you for joining us. Do like and subscribe. I haven't put me, I just put my rattling tin thing on just before we go.
Hang on, is that the music from the Hovis advert?
Other breads are available. Thank you for joining us.